is preparing for provocations by North Korea and, quote, strengthening its determination to punish the enemy. Dave?
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced. Partly cloudy skies this early morning, 61 degrees. 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Another holiday weekend, another wave of shootings in Chicago. Police say 5 died, 42 were shot over the Labor Day weekend. 2 of those were killed either Sunday or yesterday. 4 were wounded following a shooting in Bellwood. 3 men and a woman shot last night outside Bellwood Avenue and Jackson, outside a residence there. All of the victims remain hospitalized. Authorities are searching for the gunman who shot and killed a 15-year-old boy on Chicago's west side. Police say the teen was standing in front of a home last night near 15th and Drake when he began arguing with another group. During that dispute, someone pulled a gun and shot that 15-year-old in the back. Bond set at $2 million for a Chicago man accused of putting a 2-year-old boy in burning hot bathwater. Jarvon Crosley appeared in court yesterday on a charge of aggravated battery to a child. State police are searching for a person who shot a man on the Eisenhower Expressway near Hillside. Authorities say the shooting happened Sunday night while the victim was changing a tire along I-290 at Manheim. The man remains hospitalized after suffering a gunshot wound to the back. A 2-year-old child inside that vehicle was not hurt. Classes begin later today at the Chicago Public Schools. That after Mayor Emanuel touted gains, he says, made at the Chicago Public School District. Speaking at South Shore College Prep yesterday, Mayor bragged about the latest CPS graduation numbers.
Our kids now are on their way to a better future, with more and more kids now not only graduating, but going on to college and community college.
District says Chicago students graduating at an all-time high of around 77%. Workers in Chicago demanding higher pay. Thousands rallied yesterday in the Loop for a $15 an hour minimum wage. Dozens of dogs and cats left homeless by Harvey arrived in Waukegan Monday, receiving some medical care and awaiting adoption. GreaterGood.org financed that flight from a Texas shelter for about 120 dogs and cats. Several Illinois Republicans are out and on the record expressing frustration with Governor Rauner over immigration. The governor last week signing a law that stops the Illinois State Police from asking about someone's immigration status. State Senator Kyle McCarter last week said the governor's sanctuary state decision ignores the will of thousands who voted for President Donald Trump, in part because of his tougher stance on immigration. The state of Illinois is not waiting for the first snowflakes to fall this winter to get snowplow drivers on the road. IDOT said that it's already looking to hire winter road crew members. If you're interested, of course, you need to get an application into the state by next week's deadline. All drivers must have a valid CDL and be able to pass a number of pre-employment checks and tests. Also would be very good if you could get up early like us here in the newsroom so you can get on those roads a little after midnight. Josh Bell belts a 2-run home run, drives in 4. Pirates crush the Cubs 12-0 in the opener of a 4-game set at PNC. Jake Arrieta left in the third with a hamstring problem. Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez homered. Indians edged the White Sox 5-3. The News is a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, when you purchase a set of Napa brakes and rotors, you get up to a $50 discount code toward your favorite fan gear from Fanatics.com. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. 5:06 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
See filmmaker and the best-selling author of Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza, on Saturday, November 11th at Freedom Summit 2017 at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. He'll be appearing with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Also appearing Radio talk show host Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, and Amy Jacobson. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has two main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
5:08. Let's get an update on the roads, and we do that this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The very latest with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good Tuesday morning, Mike. In Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, southern Kenosha County got a factory blaze going. This is on 100th Street, not far from Green Bay Road. This is in the area, the old Jelly Belly plant there. The Chicago expressways and tollways are looking great. There was no Labor Day weekend construction to speak of. Still have some closures on the west side, Randolph and Washington near Ogden after the North Coast Music Festival. Those closures are scheduled till early Wednesday. Streets are reopening now in Naperville after the last fling. In the city of Chicago, the CTA is offering free bus and train rides to students and accompanying adults on this first day of public school classes in an effort to boost attendance at public schools on this day. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on everything your kids need to head back to school with confidence to get everything they need for less at Staples. And right now, composition books and 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents. While supplies last, limit 30 in-store, 10 online. Ends 9/9. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from our meteorologist this morning, Kevin Snyder.
Today, breezy and cool with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower for the afternoon, high 69. Then a cool night tonight with patchy clouds, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently, we have 58 at O'Hare, 61 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Shake off those Labor Day weekend doldrums.
Oh,
Back to work.
I know. The roadways were already crowded this morning. Did you see that?
People
Kids
have
last night getting ready to go to send the kiddies to school.
people have to, work for a living around
No,
here.
I know, but the road was pretty crowded, don't you think?
No, it's like normal.
Oh, you go so fast, you don't even see anybody going by you. But yeah,
It's all
first
a
day of
blur.
school, it's always just for CPS for 400,000. Mike Scott's shaking his head. He's like,
400,000
no. Oh, now it's 300,000.
I'm sorry.
Is enrollment going down?
Yes.
Is this 2004?
There are over 2 million school children in the state of Illinois. 1.7 million children have been in school for quite a while.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for pointing that out.
2.1 million in K through 12, although I think that number is going down too.
I think it is too, yeah.
But I mean, CPS 400,000. I know that's what they want you to believe, so that we
Well,
send
that's including
400,000,
teachers.
so that we send money for 400,000 kids to the school system. Probably 330, 320.
Okay. 300. All right.
And going down.
Yes.
And we'll get to Tiny Dancer's
New
propaganda.
claims? Yeah, his new claims that graduation rates are at an all-time high.
Yeah, as if that's a meaningful number. That's about as important as the unemployment rate. But first, we have to get to the big news.
That Keith went to DragonCon this weekend?
That's
our
big
executive
news.
producer.
That is big news as well. That really requires a psychiatrist, which is beyond my kin,
It's okay.
actually.
Well, you start out with Comic-Con and then you lead to DragonCon. That's what I've noticed over the years that Keith, that he started with that.
I'm glad you're making those connections.
And he's not a furry, so we've got that going for us.
Okay. I'm glad to know that what he's not as well as what he is. Those are important stories, but perhaps we'll tackle Keith's various pathologies off the air. And then when he's comfortable with who he is and where he's at, then we'll bring him on and we'll talk about it.
Is he in costume today? Have you seen him yet? Is he?
I have not seen him, but
okay.
He's
shifty.
Sometimes if you don't catch him at the right angle, you can't see him. He has those powers. But more importantly, the big announcement over the weekend and supposed to be codified today, the president's decision on DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. This is the program started by President Obama in 2012 to provide minors who are brought here by their parents illegally, who are minors prior to 2012, the ability to essentially stay for a indeterminate period of time to go to school, to get a work permit, and what to do about these 800,000 estimated individuals that fall under the strictures of DACA. Well, President Trump telegraphing his decision, according to Politico and other reports, he is going to defer the deferment program. He's going to end DACA, but he's going to give 6 months of a window for Congress to act to remedy DACA in some material way. This has been received unevenly. Some say, okay, well, this is a sensible compromise, give people time to adjust to the new reality. Other immigration hardliners are suggesting 6 months gives Congress the time to act. Yeah, it gives them the time to create amnesty for those 800,000 DACA individuals per Paul Ryan's suggestion that DACA should not go away.
Right. And it's a hot potato issue for Republicans. I mean, it really is, because you look heartless on one end if you try and deport or kick out 800,000 people, and then you want to uphold the law. But here's what President Trump said last February 2017 about DACA.
We are going to deal with DACA with heart. I have to deal with a lot of politicians, don't forget. And I have to convince them that what I'm saying is right. And I appreciate your understanding on that. But the DACA situation is a very difficult thing for me. Because, I love these kids. I love kids.
Yeah, here's what Trump said on the campaign trail in Arizona.
We will immediately terminate President Obama's 2 illegal executive amnesties in which he defied federal law and the Constitution to give amnesty to approximately 5 million illegal immigrants. 5 million.
He is talking there on the campaign trail about both DACA and DAPA, which is Deferred Action for Parents of Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents. So DACA and DAPA, and what Trump said on the stump in Arizona is correct, not per me, but per federal courts that enjoined President Obama from those programs, though he ignored them Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals enjoined the DACA, enjoined the DAPA program after an injunction was entered by the lower federal court. And so in terms of the constitutionality, and there's layers to this conversation, this argument, there's not a lot of room with respect to making a constitutional case for DACA or DAPA. But again, we don't necessarily govern by the Constitution anymore. We govern by feeling. So which Trump do you prefer? The Trump on the campaign trail that said immediately, or the Trump that is giving a 6-month window for Congress to act on DACA before he ends the program? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, I think it's heartless to treat dreamers without heart. It's not their fault that they came here. Their parents brought them here.
Yeah.
And the ones that are I shouldn't say law-abiding citizens, but the ones that are paying taxes,
citizens
that are loved in the community, and they're hardworking, technically Americans, why kick them out? I mean, don't you you got to put yourself in their position. They've always been living in fear. A lot of them don't even know that they were here illegally, like my friend Janice Garcia. She didn't even know. We were trying to get her a passport because we wanted to go to Europe for the summer, and she was looking for her birth certificate, asked her mom, asked her grandma, everybody, where's my birth certificate? And they kept putting her off. There was no birth certificate because she wasn't born here. So she didn't even know that she was a dreamer until she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
And I just think of people like that, and I just think, here's another guy who said that my country's turning on me.
I basically got the message that my country doesn't want me here. It's trying to get rid of me, and it was very confusing.
Do you find the term dreamers a misnomer? Are they dreaming of anything? They were not aspirational. They were brought here as minors, right?
But they're dreaming to stay here.
Oh.
Because they hope that they've had to live their whole lives wondering when's it going to happen, who's got my back.
Yeah, Jeff Flake, Senator from Arizona, made the sins of the parents argument on State of the Nation on CNN over the weekend.
There are 800,000 DACA kids who were brought across the border. The median age, I think, is 6 years old for those 800,000 when they came across the border. They should not be punished for the sins of their parents. That's just the basic principle that we ought to follow here. They are either in school or have graduated and are working. Almost all of them, I think 90-some% of them, are in the workforce. To remove them from the country, to split up families like this, is just not the way we ought to go.
So 2 arguments there. One, sins of the parents argument. The second is the split up the family argument. Let's address those in turn. Sins of the parents. The child should not pay for the sins of the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. So who should? Who should?
Who should pay for the sins of the parents?
That's a neutral question.
The parents should pay for the sins of the parents.
So the parents should be deported.
Well, then I don't want to tear up families. But yes, I mean, if I had to make a choice between the parents and the kids, of course I'd choose the parents because they're the ones who broke the law and took their children here illegally.
Break up families. I find that racist.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it assumes something about, let's say, for example, it's not limited to Mexico. It's Central American kids and families as well. Mm-hmm. But let's just say Mexico for the sake of the discussion. We think so little of Mexican parents? Oh, we're going to leave the kids behind? Is that what you would do? Well, so what's the break up families argument exactly? Mexican parents leave their kids behind if they have to leave the country to go back to their home country, or Honduran parents leave their kids behind if they have to go back to their home country? That's the break up families argument. And by the way, it's so bad in Honduras or Mexico or wherever that they're going to leave their kids behind if they have to leave. They wouldn't leave as a family? If Peyton and Eli were DACA kids and you were a Swedish refugee and you were forced out, you'd leave Peyton and Eli behind?
No.
Right.
So what's the breakup families argument again?
I think it's older children that were brought here as kids that are now adults, and they're having their own kids. They want to send Papi and Grandma back, Abuela, to Mexico because then they can. No, but they can't because they broke the law. Once you leave, you can't get back in.
Oh, well, right. Yes, that's right.
That's the problem.
That's right.
That's why I know a lot of people who can't go and see their family members in certain countries because they will never be allowed back into this country.
The breakup families argument again. I mean, there's a choice that is to be made, an adult choice. You made an adult choice to come here, and now that some of these kids are, as you say, are adults. I mean, I'm just saying the argument. The kind of heartstrings arguments that are being made by sophists like Jeff Flake about sins of the parents and breaking up families. Those are nice top-line statements, but that's not the end of the discussion. That's the beginning of it. So I should pay for the sins of the parents. I mean, that's what the argument is.
So, but basically the decision isn't coming from the White House. It's coming from the Justice Department.
Well, it's not coming from the Justice Department because Jeff Sessions has said he's not going to defend it in court because he finds it unconstitutional.
Okay.
So
he's
see.
getting a big announcement today.
It's going to come. I mean, the decision, in terms of how this program will operate, potentially, because it's going to require the president's backing at some point, is a decision that will come from Congress, and that's the idea of giving Congress 6 months to act. But I mean, I want to hear the answers to the who pays for the sins, because that's the argument that's made in defense of this program, and the breaking up families argument. We think that little of the parents who brought their kids here, that they would abandon their kids. Is that right? You think you're, rallying to the defense of those families. In point of fact, aren't you guilty of the soft bigotry of low expectations for the others? In fact, as per usual, I would argue those who want to flout the law are the ones who have the race problem, in addition to the law problem.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
So what should happen to the dreamers? We'll take your phone calls coming up. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Well, it's back to school day for CPS. Partly sunny, breezy conditions will greet them. We do have a stray shower this afternoon, a high of just 69 degrees. These are temperatures we normally see in October. And then tomorrow it's going to be another cool day. We'll only get into the mid-60s with a chance of a shower. Now let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center here. A man who's always ready to go, Jim Talamonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. In the city of Chicago on the west side, we still have closures of Randolph, Washington, and Warren near Ogden Avenue due to the North Coast Music Festival. Those streets are not scheduled to reopen until tomorrow morning. The CTA is offering free bus and train rides to students and accompanying adults today to try and boost attendance at the Chicago Public Schools on that first day. Be careful in the school zones. Watch speeds there. There are of course, laws in effect, and watch for pedestrians. Meanwhile, on the expressways and tollways, for now, things look pretty good. We're expecting a little higher travel times now with the school back in session in the city, in the public schools. The Rhine, little heavy inbound 18th to the Burns Circle, 16 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, only slight delays right now. The other expressways and tollways are looking good. There is a fire in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. This is on 100th Street near Green Bay Road. Allow time for responders there. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The number one fear amongst retirees today is running out of money in retirement. And that's with good reason, because the last thing you want to be is 75 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. Today, we're living longer than ever before, so your retirement savings has to last 2, 3, even 4 decades. So how do you safely generate more income in retirement without risking everything you've worked for in the stock market? And what can you do to help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answer's in our free retirement income planning packet. It's packed full of little-known strategies on how to generate income in retirement, getting the most from Social Security, minimize taxes, and reduce the risk of outliving your income. You don't need to take unnecessary risks to generate income in retirement, and I'll prove it to you. You have a lot more options to generate income in retirement. You just didn't know they existed until now. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742, right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about President Trump's retrenchment on DACA and where you come down on it. Take a couple calls real quick. Otis in Maywood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. Amy.
Hi.
First-time caller.
Yeah.
But my question
Great,
is,
thank you.
What happens to all the other illegals? Since the DACA kids are going to receive some sort of amnesty, which is what they have right now. Not to mention the fact that it's illegal to be in this country undocumented. So what happens to the other illegals? Are they also going to want amnesty or to be a part of DACA? And I'll get off the air so you can answer the question for me.
Thanks for the call, Otis. Glad to have you on board. Call again. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the whole Gang of Eight Path to Citizenship proposal that was tubed in advance of the 2016 election, right? I mean, that is really ultimately the play for those who, the Si Se Puede advocates. They want normalization for everybody here that is here illegally. That's what they want. I mean, I don't know how other ways to put it, so they'll try to get piecemeal what they can't get in one fell swoop.
But even if DACA goes away, how are they going to get 800,000 people out of here?
Yeah, again.
I mean, that's
the
40,000 alone in New York. I mean,
a few at a time, I suppose. I mean, the whole.
You want to start with the New Yorkers, don't you?
No, the point,
registered Democrats.
No, the point is that this whole kind of like, well, we'll never do it. Well, so that would obviate any rule of law. Yeah, the logistics is the least important part of this discussion, because as you see, you will have people who don't have status and don't have the prospect for status leave. So will all 800,000, if that's even a real number, will they leave overnight? No, but maybe they and their families will decide to go back to their home country, and if they want to immigrate to this country and they want to be productive, super fantastic. I'm a big fan of immigration, legal immigration. I oppose the RAISE Act, for example, Tom Cotton's bill that would have immigration in this country over the next 10 years. I'm opposed to that. But hey, there's a process. And you want to reform the process, let's have a conversation. You want to skip the line, it's more difficult to have that conversation. Let's continue our conversation on this topic. We got a full board of calls, and Yuval Levin over at National Review has an interesting compromise I want to run by our listening audience, see if they would be willing to make that deal at 5:38.
And later, the Trumps return to Texas. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
61 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the northwest at 10. Nothing like the wind that Hurricane Irma is churning up. 145 miles an hour this morning as the Category 4 storm heads toward the Caribbean this morning and getting stronger. Congress is back at work today. A lot on its table, including looming deadlines to keep government functioning. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin wants lawmakers to raise the debt ceiling by September 29. President Trump reportedly going to announce later today an end to the Obama-era executive action that protects illegal immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. The former president's program is expected to be ended by President Trump. It's called DACA after a 6-month delay. Protesters spent Labor Day rallying. Jose Martinez hoping the president does the right thing in his mind.
For the president to reach inside his heart and to not terminate DACA, we are more than 800,000 individual recipients that were brought to this country without our own consent or own will.
South Korea wants bigger warheads this morning. The White House said the president has agreed in principle to remove some restrictions on warhead weight limits during a conversation with the South Korean president. The limit's part of a defensive pact between the two nations. Yesterday at the UN, Ambassador Nikki Haley said talks with North Korea are not working out.
Despite our efforts over the past 24 years, the North Korean nuclear program is more advanced and more dangerous than ever.
Wildfires in southwest Canada and the northern Rockies are really impacting the U.S. this morning. Smoke from the wildfires left hazy gray-yellow skies over Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota yesterday. The dollar falling against a pair of international currencies amid North Korean concerns. We'll keep our eyes on that. Following another holiday weekend, another wave of shootings in Chicago. 5 died, 42 were shot over Labor Day. Bond set at $2 million for a Chicago man accused of putting a 2-year-old boy into burning hot bath water. Charvon Crosley appeared in court yesterday on a charge of aggravated battery to a child. Pirates beat the Cubs 12-0. Sox and Indians continue their 4-game set tonight after last night's Indians 5-3 win. The news service of Napa Auto Parts this month. Valvoline full synthetic motor oil is on sale for $5.59 a quart at any participating Napa Auto Parts store. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. General States prices do not include applicable state, local taxes or recycling fees. 5:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's not time to play politics.
I run away from the politicizing of natural disasters. I hate political gamesmanship that people engage in. This is not a time for that. Right now, the people of Texas need our help, need our prayers, and we don't need to point any fingers of blame.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
5:36 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Mike, got a couple fires going this morning. One on the south side, 103rd, just east of Wentworth. There's one in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, on 100th Street, just off Green Bay Road. There's a metro delay on the Union Pacific West line. The train due downtown at 6:10 is stopped near LaFox. There's some freight train interference. Edens is fine. The Kennedy as well. Westbound 190, getting a little heavy now, approaching O'Hare. The Eisenhower still okay. Inbound Stevenson delay start at Cicero. 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop 423. Tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana looks great. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on everything your kids need to head back to school with confidence. Get everything they need for less at Staples. And right now, composition books and 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents. While supplies last, limit 30 in-store, 10 online. Ends 9/9. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answer when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A partly sunny and breezy day ahead. Could be some stray showers this afternoon, high 69. Cool, patchy clouds, 50 overnight. Currently 58 at O'Hare. It is 60 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. Just updating the DragonCon story.
Oh, yes.
Since, producer Keith. He was at DragonCon this weekend. Ann B. Davis's bowling ball had an inquiry on the topic. Reporting a story out of Atlanta, 2 women at DragonCon hit by chairs thrown from the balcony, police investigating, and Ann B. Davis's bowling ball wanted to know from Keith if he was the chick dressed as Loki or Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. I don't
So,
I just asked Keith Conrad how DragonCon
We'll
was,
inquire.
and he said it was fun. I said, it was fun. Okay. But William Shatner was there. He spoke on Saturday and Sunday, and he said that he was funny.
He said, you people, get a life. What's
he
wrong
didn't.
with you?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Why?
kidding.
That's a
Of course.
big, it's a huge
No,
deal.
of course, no.
No, it sells out in a matter of minutes. Comic-Con,
Oh, it's
DragonCon.
totally- No, it's a very productive way to spend your life.
You know,
Of course.
it's his
No,
one
of
outlet
course.
to
No.
just escape from reality.
I'm
and-
supportive.
Or weren't you a bromie or something? Or a
What-
furry?
what's a bromie?
A pretty pony?
That's a brony.
A brony, sorry.
If you please use the proper vernacular. And no, I was not.
Oh.
Yeah.
I stayed at a hotel once that was having Comic-Con and didn't even know and was introduced to that whole world. And I met bronies because they were playing My Pretty Pony in one of the auditoriums or one of the conference rooms.
I think it's My Little Pony.
Or My Little Pony.
And again, I'm not not a brony. I just happen to know this. I've studied the issue.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about it on this show.
Well, and then remember the furry convention that they had near O'Hare Airport and somebody pressed the fire alarm and everybody came out in their costumes? That was that picture.
There was a furry convention in Pittsburgh the weekend after I was there, or the weekend before I was there, so the week prior. And my Uber driver was telling me about it because she knows the hotel manager and how disgusting it was, how these people who dress up like animals,
like cats, meow,
behave like the animals they're dressed up as. So, in other words, relieving themselves in the drawers in their hotel room.
Well, they put kitty litter in the drawers and then relieve
Oh,
themselves.
that's fine.
And then they lined it too with the cat liner. So,
well, that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if they're at least if you're in the process of taking them for their walk, and if they have a little accident in the lobby, then it's not so bad. Okay. All right. Anyway, back to adult conversation in the real world, talking about deferred action for childhood arrivals. The president's parent decision to delay it for 6 months, which is not quite exactly what he said as a candidate, said it would end both DACA and DAPA immediately. That doesn't seem to be happening. Here's an interesting compromise proposal. It comes to us from Yuval Levin, who's excellent writer over at National Review. He essentially suggests that this is the opportunity for how he describes them, permissivists and restrictionists on the issue of immigration to strike a deal. And the deal would be this: find some path to permanent status for dreamers, the so-called dreamers, these kids that were brought here through the DACA program and who otherwise have not committed any crimes or otherwise productive, in exchange for border wall funding. Because you need, if you're going to have restrictionists concede something that they oppose in principle but could live with in practice, then you're going to need the permissivists to do the same. And is that a possible deal that you would agree to? Border wall funding in exchange for permanent status for persons that came here through the DACA program, brought here by their parents, and who otherwise have been law-abiding, going to school, working, whatever. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, is that a deal you would make, Ms. Jacobson from Mount Prospect?
Sign me up for that.
Right.
That sounds fair. That doesn't sound heartless, and that won't let people flee the Republican Party, because that's what I'm worried about. If Republicans vote to end DACA, that it's going to backfire.
Okay. Mark on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. First of all, I agree with Trump's decision of what he's going to announce today. But does it really make a difference? Because you already know that the liberal Democrats have it lined up with some judge that's going to rule against it, and it's going to end up in the Supreme Court. It's just that simple.
Perhaps, thanks for the call, Mark. I mean, perhaps you had, as I mentioned earlier, the Fifth Circuit rule against President Obama, suggesting he overstepped his authority and joined DAPA, even though he ignored the injunction. So is this ultimately going to get leveled up to the Supreme Court? Perhaps, but really, the Constitution and the case law on this is fairly clear in terms of Congress's plenary authority with respect to immigration and what they empower the president to do. So perhaps as a companion to sanctuary city, sanctuary state designation, that may get leveled up to the high court as well, with federal court enjoining Texas's sanctuary city ban. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a possibility. Casper in West Chicago, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to say about what you said about these parents of these dreamers, that why you and the American people have to pay for their sins. I think you are making the very good impersonation of fake news CNN, because you are just seeing this one-sided. You don't think this American society have some sins too? Why this American society hire these people for cheap labor? Why this American society don't have to pay for their sins too? And now, I don't see anybody saying nothing about the people who hire these people.
So,
what happened with them?
Well, actually, Casper,
you don't think that they have to pay too?
So, Casper, if I
can't.
I guess I can't.
It's and very hypocrite to say something like that, and just say laughing, oh, we don't have to pay for the sins of these parents.
Okay, so Casper, can I interject something? Casper, are you there? Casper?
Yeah.
He's listening.
So with respect to the people that hire people that are here illegally, I mean, there's proponents of, the abiding immigration law would suggest that E-Verify.
No,
Oh, I guess I can't say anything.
I don't want to say propose. I don't want to see something in the news and something that you say to see both sides of the problem.
Yeah, no, I think...
You say one side of the problem, and you say those people are criminals.
No, I didn't say they're criminals.
Them are those criminals. They are not broken the law too.
Okay,
so
okay, Casper.
Why just the parents have to pay for?
Okay, Casper, thanks for the call. So now let me see if I can finish the thought now that Casper has departed. You would have the same people that would oppose DACA would support E-Verify for companies with respect to hiring persons that are here illegally. So in terms of the hiring cheap labor, do American companies or people who hire quote-unquote cheap labor, or more importantly, labor from persons that are here illegally, do they have something to account for? Sure they do. Sure they do. And again, the consistency on the restrictionist side, if you want to use the Levin term, is E-Verify, number one. Number two, Casper, wouldn't your concern about American companies hiring quote-unquote illegal cheap labor lead you to support restricting illegal cheap labor from being employed? If you're saying that American companies have committed that sin, wouldn't you want to restrict those people from coming over from other countries to work here illegally for cheap labor? I mean, does that logically follow? So, I mean, Casper, maybe you're not seeing it from all sides. Is that possible? Tom in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You have to end DACA and other programs like it. But more importantly, you have to end this insanity called birthright citizenship. Otherwise, every pregnant woman in the world can just drop by, have their baby on American soil, and then in many cases raise it in a country that hates our guts and is hostile to us, and we would never be able to stop their kids from coming to and from America because they're U.S. citizens. This is crazy, not to mention the hundreds of billions of dollars that's being spent on illegal aliens because we're somehow obligated to pay for all this stuff. Look, when you steal a car, it's stolen. I don't care if you've been driving it around for 10 years. I don't care if it's the only car your kids have ever ridden in. It's still a stolen car. You have to stop these insane programs. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
Yeah, a lot of people in Europe come here, in China, come here and have babies so they can have dual citizenship. And they pay $40,000.
Well, here's the thing about, the problem with trying to get anywhere rational with respect to this discussion is it's so charged and it's so racially tinged, but most importantly, it's just dishonest. And most of the dishonesty comes from those who are advocates of lawlessness. Let me just use Illinois as the example, the sanctuary state legislation that Ronner signed last week. The House sponsor, Chris Welch, listen to who's the Democrat from Proviso
where?
Township.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he allegedly beat up his girlfriend. There's
I remember that.
Forest Park police report that details it, but never charged. He said of that, immigrants in our community should not have to feel unsafe when they go to work or take their children to school. Immigrants. Well, why would immigrants feel unsafe? They're here legally. It's not immigrants that the so-called Trust Act addresses or the sanctuary state legislation that it's more appropriately described addresses. It's persons here illegally. But when you're purposefully disingenuous to say immigrants, to conflate immigrants and illegal immigrants, it says something about your real motivation. And it's not compassion, it's politics. And so it's very hard to get to a reasonable place when you have people purposely committing fraud in the political class, rhetorically and legislatively. I mean, Burundi. Where's the outcry for Burundi? The UN investigators, strong evidence that there are crimes against humanity that have been committed in Burundi, detailing torture and rape committed largely by government forces. Violence has been going on in that country for a couple of years now. 400,000 people have been forced from their homes. Where's the call for Burundi? I mean, one of the things that Illinois, but the entire country, is supposed to be is a political asylum for those that are being persecuted. So is it just people who skip over the border because they want a better life and skip the line? That should be our priority? I mean, how many priorities can we have simultaneously, and which are consistent with our founding principles and which are not? Which are consistent with the rule of law and which are not? Which are consistent with providing haven for people that are truly being persecuted and which are not? I think those are important questions that kind of get lost in this discussion. Jeff and Berwyn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Greetings.
Hey, Jeff.
I'm sorry. There's over 7 billion people on this planet. You don't think 6 billion of them would come here if we didn't have two oceans to protect us? Because they know that as long as they touch soil and make it to the local welfare office, they can sign up for a free ride. Secondly, Princeton University study a few years ago, Hispanics are automatically given an extra 185 points on their SAT scores for preferential admissions against Asians and whites. Asians are actually subtracted 50 points. That's how discriminated they are against.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One more point.
Yeah.
The long-term problem, 5 years, 10 tops. Robotics will virtually replace all of these low-level, double-digit IQ type jobs in this country.
Thanks for the call, Jeff.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
I know I'm a believer in the MyPillow product, and a lot of our listeners get a great night's sleep because many of you have purchased a MyPillow and have saved a lot of money. But if you don't sleep on a MyPillow, I suggest you act now by using the promo code Amy when you go to MyPillow.com. You can get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. 2 premium MyPillows, 2 go-anywhere MyPillows, and you can move the fill to give you the support you need regardless of sleep position. You know, I went to the Minnesota State Fair on Saturday, Dan, and met one of the current designers of the MyPillow products, and they're making the MyPillow dog beds right now. It's really a great organization.
You live a fascinating life.
It is. I mean, that's so sad. When I'm off work, I see a MyPillow booth, and I'm attracted to it. But the reason why it works and why people love it is because you can move the patented fill to give you support you need it where you need it most, on your neck and back, and you wake up without a stiff neck or headache and ready to tackle your day. They're made in America, Minnesota, hypoallergenic, washer, dryer, you name it. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in that promo code AMY, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
5:57. Check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens is clear. Kennedy inbound, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. And we see additional delays on westbound 190 from the Kennedy to Tri-State. Eisenhower, 32 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 30. Stevenson, 42 minutes. 355 to the drive, outbound 5. Ryan, 22 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Vision 423. Tollways are good. Traffic service of Staples. With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need delivered next day free on eligible items only and orders over $49.99 placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples. It's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues with Dan and Amy after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Breezy with clouds and sun today, along with a stray afternoon shower, high 69. Patchy clouds for the night, low 52. Then a shower in spots tomorrow. Otherwise, cool with a blend of sun and clouds, high 65. Becoming cloudy at night, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 58 at O'Hare. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon. You have places to be, and the side of the road is now one of them. 24/7 emergency and roadside assistance, certified mechanics, hotline, and more. Hum by Verizon is the technology that connects you to your car. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. 5:59. Here are the stories we are following on AM 560, The Answer this morning. Another holiday weekend, another wave of shootings in Chicago. 5 died, 42 were shot over the Labor Day weekend. 4 wounded following a shooting in Bellwood outside of a home near Bellwood Avenue in Jackson. Chicago police investigating the death of a man who collapsed while being questioned by officers. It happened overnight near 16th and Pulaski. Workers in Chicago demanding higher pay. Hundreds rallied yesterday in the Loop for a $15 an hour minimum wage. Pirates beat the Cubs 12-0, while the Indians beat the White Sox 5-3, and the Bears continue preparations for Sunday's season opener against the Falcons. Currently 58 at O'Hare. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
They're eyeing a hurricane in Florida. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're going to get something, so better to be safe than sorry.
A lot of Floridians are getting ready.
Ordered
generator on Amazon. It should be coming on Friday.
Irma could hit this weekend. Its exact track isn't known yet, but first...
We do have now a hurricane warning in effect for Puerto Rico and all of the Virgin Islands.
John Cangelosi at the National Hurricane Center. Irma now has 150-mile-an-hour wind, could strengthen into Category 5. Harvey is now blamed for at least 60 deaths in southeast Texas, where the salvage and cleanup continues. More than 100,000 homes have water damage. Most of Houston is dry now, but not all areas.
Flooding continues because of those reservoirs in 2 water treatment plants remain flooded. As of last night, it had up to 8 feet there, and they want people to conserve the water, to shower less, flush the toilet less, don't wash the dishwasher or the laundry.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in West Houston. President Trump expected to get rid of the Obama program protecting so-called dreamers. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Fox News has learned that President Trump has decided to end the Obama-era program known as DACA that grants work permits to undocumented immigrants who arrived in the country as children. House Speaker Paul Ryan has urged the president to hold off on scrapping the program and allow lawmakers some time to come up with a legislative fix. Meanwhile, attorneys general from New York and Washington state have threatened legal action against the White House if President Trump follows through and ends the DACA program. Dave?
John, there are reports North Korea may be prepping another missile launch. Fox's Greg Palkot's in Seoul.
For the second day, South Korean military have been involved in live fire exercises in response to the weekend's apparent nuclear test by the North Korean regime of Kim Jong-un. As one top analyst told me, that test was alarming, a potential U.S. city buster if that was put on top of a missile.
Russia's presidents condemned the test as provocative. Fox News, fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Global Verification Network.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%. APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to quickenloans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer. It's not often you hear about a great career opportunity on the radio. A career opportunity perfect for ambitious, responsible, and mechanically inclined individuals truly looking for a long-term career opportunity. Unique Repair Service, headquartered in Chicagoland, is a well-established industry leader in factory-authorized appliance repair and a premier service provider for many of America's largest retailers. Unique is experiencing unprecedented growth and is looking to immediately hire a number of technician trainees to learn the business and grow in the company. company. Benefits include medical insurance, paid holidays and vacation, as well as company-provided vehicle, laptop, phone, and gas card. So if you, a loved one or friend, are mechanically inclined and would like information about a career opportunity with an industry leader, call Mike Avila today at 877-219-5960. That's Mike Avila of Unique Repair Service at 877-219-5960. Unique Repair Service is an equal opportunity employer and proud supporter of AM 560's charity golf outing for the 100 Club of Chicago.
Okay, from the start.
Acerola cherry.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, banana.
Beets, bell pepper, broccoli. Blueberries, blackberries, cranberry.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Mangosteen.
Pineapple, sweet potato.
Papaya, parsley, peach.
You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
Raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black here in Dallas, Texas. Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit?
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
Choose M13 Graphics for all your business brochures, postcards, flyers, and more. Order online at M13.com or call 877-613-1913.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, the North Koreans are again escalating tensions and, frankly, spoiling for war. That is, with the testing of a 120 megatron, allegedly atomic bomb that rocked South Korea over the weekend.
And parts of Japan, and I mean, it was crazy.
So what are the options that President Trump and his national security team have? There's a differing opinion, as you would suggest, some more bellicose than others. James Mattis, Secretary of Defense, had this to say about any more from North Korea, including threatening any U.S. territory or any U.S. allies like the South Koreans, like the Japanese. Here's what the response from the U.S. will be, according to Secretary Mattis.
We have many military options, and the President wanted to be briefed on each one of them. We made clear that we have the ability to defend ourselves and our allies, South Korea and Japan, from any attack, and our commitments among the allies are ironclad. Any threat to the United States or its territories, including Guam, or our allies, will be met with a massive military response, a response both effective and overwhelming.
Massive response, massive military response, effective and overwhelming. That sounds very much like what former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, proposed on Fox over the weekend, which he suggests is the only diplomatic option that President Trump has, and it's interesting to call this a diplomatic option, but the end of the regime in North Korea.
I think the only diplomatic option left is to end the regime in North Korea by effectively having the South take it over. I think you've got to argue to China.
That's not really diplomatic. As far as they're concerned.
Well, that's their problem, not ours, because anybody who thinks that more diplomacy with North Korea or sanctions, whether against North Korea or an effort to apply sanctions against China, is just giving North Korea more time to increase its nuclear arsenal, increase its ballistic missile capability, increase the accuracy of its guidance systems, and put us, South Korea, and Japan in more jeopardy. We have fooled around with North Korea for 25 years, and fooling around some more is just going to make matters worse.
Yeah. And then the UN Security Council had an emergency meeting yesterday, and Nikki Haley said, I mean, he's fixing for a fight, Kim Jong-un.
We must now adopt the strongest possible measures. Kim Jong-un's action cannot be seen as defensive. He wants to be acknowledged as a nuclear power. But being a nuclear power is not about using those terrible weapons to threaten others. Nuclear powers understand their responsibilities. Kim Jong-un shows no such understanding. His abusive use of missiles and his nuclear threats show that he is begging for war.
Yeah, okay. Begging. I know that was the big headline, begging for war. She's describing what we all know. The question is, what do you do about it? And Bolton and to some extent Mattis are coming from one place. But a more interesting and nuanced, I think more interesting and nuanced approach to this came over the weekend from Gordon Chang, who's a scholar in this area. He is the author of the book Coming Collapse of China. And he talked about, why does China behave the way they behave to essentially condone, if not assist, the North Koreans? Listen to Mr. Chang's explanation and then what he suggests President Trump could do.
Well, because every time North Korea does something provocative, we run to China and ask for their cooperation. We plead with them. We send a Secretary of State or some other high envoy. And that way, the Chinese are able to divert us from our talking about things that matter to us, like South China Sea, predatory trade practices, cyber attacks. We don't discuss those when we're talking about and obsessed with North Korea. So Beijing finds that, at least on a short term, this is very, very advantageous for them.
Short term to keep issues we have with China off the table because we're trying to enlist them to help us with North Korea, right? Now, Chang also says medium term, long term, this is not good. What's happening in North Korea is not good for China. It's not good for anybody, which is why you've seen some emanations from both Russia and China with respect to this rogue regime. Now, what can be done about it? You heard from Mattis and Bolton. Listen to Gordon Chang. He said there's a lot more room when it comes to economic sanctions that have a daisy chain effect. Listen to what Mr. Chang suggests.
No, I think the next step is a non-kinetic one. We need to go to the Security Council and ask for a complete embargo. And if the Chinese and the Russians delay, what we need to do is put severe costs on Moscow and Beijing. And we can certainly do that because the largest Chinese banks, like Bank of China, which was named in a 2016 UN report, they've been money laundering for the North Koreans. And President Trump, by designating them a primary money laundering concern, can effectively put a death sentence on the largest Chinese institutions. That would throw the Chinese financial system into turmoil, rock the economy, and maybe even bring down the Communist Party. So we have the tools to do this. We just don't have the political will, Pete.
The tools are interesting. The implications of those tools bring down the Communist Party in China. That's a big statement. But I like the broad strokes that Gordon Chang is sketching out to help us make sense of all of these opinions in the context of the threat posed by North Korea. We're pleased to be joined again by our friend Michael Rubin. Of course, he is a resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, the author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising, former Pentagon official. Michael, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
So are you, I hate to, kind of boil this down to binary, but are you more in the Bolton camp where regime change is the only option, so South Korean takeover is the only option, or does some of what Gordon Chang had to say make sense to you?
I'm going to cop out on this one and basically say both are right.
Okay.
Here's the issue. And regime change should certainly be a goal. Regime preservation, the flip side of regime change, Bolton is right. It hasn't done us any good over the last 25 years. But what John Bolton isn't saying, and frankly what Gordon Chang isn't saying, is the real vulnerability here isn't that North Korea is going to drop a nuclear bomb on Guam, on Japan, or even on Seoul, South Korea. But Seoul, South Korea is a city like Chicago, and North Korea is only about 30 miles away. And so you got a situation where it would be as if North Korea really wanted to create havoc, they could just take conventional artillery and launch it at Seoul, South Korea. It would be like launching at Chicago from Gary, Indiana, and figure they're going to hit something. That's what everyone is afraid of. So the question is whether our anti-missile defenses are good enough before we do that. But I think Gordon Chang is on the right track. Look, North Korea, the only reason it survives is because China gives it that pressure relief, and China needs to know in no uncertain terms, hey, we're not going to put up with this anymore. The return address is you. I mean, basically, the analogy I would make, Dan and Amy, it's like Hezbollah and Iran. If Hezbollah is making trouble, it's not simply Hezbollah. It's Iran using them as a proxy. We got to understand The diplomacy with China hasn't gone anywhere on this issue. They've been playing good cop, bad cop, all the while trying to bleed us dry, and it's gotten to the crisis point now.
And Russia's pushing for this freeze for freeze plan where North Korea freezes their nuclear program and then U.S. and South Korea stop their military exercises. Do you think that's going to have any legs?
Amy, I really don't, because this has happened before. This goes back to the Carter administration, which froze this, and every time this has been frozen, our military cooperation with South Korea and so forth, the fact of the matter is it's made matters worse. Remember, we've already made these concessions. We've pulled our nukes years ago out, I think during the Clinton administration, out of South Korea. So the idea that this is still a provocation is nothing, considering since we pulled our nukes out, that's when North Korea, despite their promises, have gone full speed ahead in developing their nuclear weapons. And in this case, remember, when you hear about an earthquake and the nuclear test took out an earthquake, the difference between an earthquake that's 5 on the Richter scale and 6 on the Richter scale isn't a factor of 1, it's a factor of 10. And so what North Korea has now done is test a bomb that's created an earthquake 10 times more powerful than the last one.
Mm-hmm. And so going back to what Gordon Chang had to say about the potential debilitating effect of a full embargo and the designation of Chinese money launderers as such, that would essentially cripple their ability to operate in the financial world. Do you see the same potential for that approach?
I do see the same potential. I'm not sure whether it would bring down the communist regime, but I think the question on Donald Trump's desk right now is, do you want a trade war or an economic war, so to speak, or do you want a shooting war? And I don't think there's an option beyond those two.
Mm-hmm. And so on that topic, the Wall Street Journal opined on this over the weekend, and I agree with them that, boy, in this context, it makes even less sense than it would in peaceful times for Trump to be essentially arguing for the U.S. to withdraw from a U.S.-South Korea trade deal that was inked prior to his administration.
You know, I absolutely agree with the Wall Street Journal on this. At a time of this sort of crisis, you don't want to pull the rug out from our ally. The fact of the matter is the whole South Korea trade deal probably has been a benefit to the United States as well. And remember, the whole Korean War started when, during the Truman administration, Dean Acheson had basically laid out the willingness of the United States to defend its allies, left out South Korea, and that's when North Korea 6 months later decided to invade. So the last thing you want to do is give the North Korea any hope that they are going to be victorious by this nuclear posturing.
Yeah, it's good.
So how do you think that this is going to end?
Unfortunately, I don't think there's any smooth ending to this. In the past, for 25 years, and this is where Bolton and Nikki Haley get it right, you know, we've just been responding to North Korean bluster effectively with bribes, and Donald Trump has basically said no more bribes, and nor is it wise to have any bribes given North Korean behavior. So the fact of the matter is I think we're heading to a crisis one way or another.
Before we let you go, do we have a crisis brewing in Israel? Report out this weekend that the wife of Bibi Netanyahu, Sarah Netanyahu, expects to be indicted for fraud in the coming months, and Netanyahu himself may potentially be in some legal jeopardy. Is Netanyahu facing a real legal threat to his prime ministership?
You know, he may be, Dan, but the whole nature of a democracy is you have a system in place that can absorb these sorts of shocks, and if Bibi Netanyahu is forced to step down, there's simply going to be a democratically elected leader who's going to rise up in his place. For people that expect this to be a complete about-face in Israel's policy, I think they're wrong, because whether you're left or right on Israel, there's pretty much a security consensus. But Israel's had leaders forced to step down before, and if only the rest of the world, in the Middle East especially, would have leaders who, when they engage in corruption or alleged corruption, are forced to step down when it's proven, the world would be a better place.
Okay. All right. He is Michael Rubin, resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute, author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the Trumps return to Texas and what's up with their sheriff. But first, here is your forecast for your back-to-school day for Chicago public school students and everyone that had that nice 3-day weekend. Partly sunny, breezy, cooler. We have a stray shower this afternoon, a high in the upper 60s. And tonight, a low of 52. And for tomorrow, some sun, some clouds, but a shower in place. And even cooler, a high in the mid-60s. So we're going to have the 60s here for a while. Hopefully get back into the 70s by the end of the week. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Talamonte. His pencils are sharpened. He's ready to go.
We're ready, Amy. Good morning. Morning, Dan. South side, got a fire which has 103rd Street closed. Wentworth and Perry. Eden's inbound. Just a little congestion approaching the Kennedy. Kennedy has scattered delays. 24 minutes, so here to downtown. Outbound 34. It's a little Montrose to the airport. Westbound 190 has delays as well. The Eisenhower is now 42 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 32. Stevenson, 47 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes, I-80 to the Murray. Bishop 420, eastbound Adams Tollway, jam from the Tri-State to Kennedy. Some airport traffic mixed in. Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers, and Maternity Homes is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org, or join me, Dan Proft, at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org, again, helpaidforwomen.org, for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving work.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
There's nothing like it. The smell of a tailgate, the chill in the air, the roar of the crowd. The only thing better than game day with your favorite team is when it all ends with a win. Touchdown NIU. Hear it all right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies take on the Eastern Illinois Panthers this Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Catch every minute of the action right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation. It's free. Make plans now to attend the 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at a new location, the Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. The 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd at the brand new location, the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. More info at ilnaclub.org. That's ilnaclub.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his balance of nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for?
Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, as we have said about Hurricane Harvey, there is... was that the theme music at the DragonCon?
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Yeah, and if everybody wants to see the lovely lady that Keith Conrad met at DragonCon, I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
Amy Jacobson, and he bought a drink for the girl wearing the black spy costume, not the white spy costume.
How do you know it's a girl?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
How do you know it's a girl?
I know she's...
Wearing a skirt, Keith said. I ask again, how do you know it's a girl?
No.
Yeah.
I wonder if she ever took off her mask.
Exactly.
But he did get a phone number out of it. Wonder if the number works. Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
So the best of humanity and the worst of humanity in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. FTC, Federal Trade Commission, warning consumers about flood insurance scams targeting those who've been affected. Scams often follow the news, especially when there's a natural disaster, warns the FTC. For example, there's robocalls telling people their flood premiums are past due in order to have coverage for Hurricane Harvey. Submit a payment immediately. And, of course, don't do that. Contact your insurance agent if you have flood insurance. So that's just one example. And then the looting, of course, is an issue. But it's not so much of an issue in Fort Bend County. Fort Bend County Sheriff Troy Nels put looters on notice that, that big screen TV you're thinking about lifting?
Yeah.
You're never going to get to enjoy it.
We have had, we've heard of looting around the greater Houston area, specifically Harris County. As far as Fort Bend County, we haven't. I made a comment the other day that we support the Second Amendment here in Fort Bend County, and there are many of us that are armed. I would caution those that want to come and prey on our people here in Fort Bend County that are suffering so much right now. You may want to stay out of Fort Bend County because you could leave this county in a bag.
That is spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't...
No mincing words.
Around. Yeah, no mincing words with that guy.
In Harris County, Texas, there are some homeowners have posted signs warning looters will be shot dead. You loot, we will shoot.
That's awesome. You loot, we shoot. They should get a hashtag for that or
so there's
put it on a T-shirt.
There's some disciplining going on in that score, which, I mean...
And also on Saturday, did you see the Trumps return to Texas? And I have to get this out of the way because Melania Trump, our lovely first lady, instead of caving to the pressure on social media for wearing hurricane heels the first time she visited, she wore even higher stilettos, snakeskin stilettos, when she got onto Air Force One. But of course, when she got off the plane, she was dressed appropriately. She had on black jeans, gym shoes, and she replaced the FLOTUS hat with a Texas hat. And I have to tell you, President Trump, I saw a different side of him. He sat there with children. He played games with them. They went to a relief center in Houston, and they stayed there for a long time. They handed out food. They met with people, and the crowd loved them.
Did it disappear? Can you believe that? And for how many days was it up?
The best return.
Unbelievable.
No, we could
That's unbelievable. Where's my guy?
He's pointing to a guy who's got a Make America Great Again T-shirt on.
Now you just became famous. You just became
That's
famous.
good. That's fine. Let me take my glasses
Mr.
off.
Trump,
Okay.
I tell you what we did. We looked out the window and tried to find the ark to see if it was coming down the street. Didn't come. But you guys did, and that's what counts. Thank you. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen very fast. It's already happening. Thanks. Good luck, everybody.
Loved them. And you should have seen the troops when they met Melania. Haba, haba, haba.
Yeah,
I mean, they were like, haba, haba.
Well, on Trump, that's consistent with what we understand about Trump to be a very affable, charming person, one-on-one, or in small groups. He's not the same guy that you see on the stump or on the television set with his reality show programming and stuff.
And he gave $1 million.
Yeah, well, that's it, and that's part of it, too. And there's a very good piece in Washington Examiner about this by Eddie Scarry, who compares Trump to Obama, singing at the Mass for the victims of the Charleston, South Carolina shooting and so forth. Trump doesn't cry and he doesn't sing, but he did pledge $1 million of his own money to the relief effort, and the administration saved lives during a record-breaking hurricane. It's not enough for the media, but perhaps it meant something to Houston, it sounds like it did. Oh, quickly, since it's from Texas, Lewis in Dayton, Texas, with the looting story.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
I live in Liberty County, which is next to Harris County. A lot of what you're seeing is Harris County is in Houston. So whenever you hear about Harris County, the majority of it's in Houston. There is a lot of looting over there. Where I live is more country, and a lot of them country boys out there, you don't hear about the looting out there because, like your report said earlier, those guys are out there sitting on their porch and rocking chairs with guns, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's one of those things, though, where the community looks out for themselves. A lot of those people that you see that are doing that, they didn't leave. They didn't evacuate, and what they're doing is they're pretty much looking out for their neighbors.
Yes.
And, out here, that it's one of the reasons why I moved out to Texas is a lot of people looking out for each other, a lot of camaraderie within the communities. And, it's great out here, especially the way they've all pulled together and come together during this time of crisis. I mean, unfortunately, you have
Lewis, I appreciate the call and the story. Thanks very much. It's a testament to that old saw that an armed society is a polite society.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll revisit the DACA decision that Trump has revisited at 6:36.
And you're not going to want to miss this story. The University of Iowa starts the best new football tradition ever. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott, who now actually said something complimentary about the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I did. I promise you, it was very complimentary about this tradition that's coming up. It's very nice. 60 and clouds, winds from the northwest at 10. Russia's defense ministry said moments ago that a warship in the Mediterranean late yesterday fired cruise missiles toward targets of the Islamic State group in the eastern Syrian province of Deir Zuar. The ministry said the missiles were fired from a frigate on Tuesday, unsure right now of that exact target. Thousands in cities across the U.S. planning protests today ahead of an expected announcement that President Trump will end a program that protects young illegal immigrants from being deported. Natalia Aristobal is worried that hundreds brought to the U.S. illegally could soon be deported.
I'm sad, I'm mad, I have a lot of feelings, but this is another act of a government that's trying to exclude community members.
The president will reportedly announce an end to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, but then announce a 6-month delay in that action, giving Congress time to act. Congress is returning from its August recess today, facing a long list of things demanding action, including deadlines to keep the government running with funding. Starting today, Pittsburgh International Airport will be the first U.S. airport since 9/11 to let people go through security checkpoints without tickets. The move will allow non-flyers to see people off at the gate or shop while in the airport. Firefighters turning a major corner in their battle against the massive La Tuna fire in L.A. County. It's scorched over 7,000 acres in the hills above Burbank. Another holiday, another wave of summer shootings in the city of Chicago. 5 died, 42 were shot over the Labor Day weekend. Bond set at $2 million for a Chicago man accused of placing a 2-year-old boy in burning hot bath water. Jarvon Crosley appeared in court yesterday on a charge of aggravated battery to a child. Pirates over the Cubs, 12-0. Jake Arrieta leaves with a hamstring injury. Indians over the White Sox, 5-3. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon. You have places to be, and the side of the road is not one of them. 24/7 emergency and roadside assistance, a certified mechanics hotline, and more. Hum by Verizon is the technology that connects you to your car. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now. Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now. 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
6:37. And a check of the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound heavy starting at Niles Center Road. 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 21. The Kennedy. Already 37 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 32. The Eisenhower. 53 minutes. Thorndale to the post office outbound 36. Stevenson. 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 26 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 420. Northbound Tri-State. Heavy from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. Spot Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. The other tollways are good right now. Metro has some delays on the Union Pacific West line after earlier freight train interference. Traffic is the service of Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. If you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and breezy. Cooler this afternoon. You may have some stray showers for the kiddos walking back home from school today. High 69. Cool with patchy clouds and a low of 50 overnight. 58 right now. Next news at 7. Continuous news coverage at 560, theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
No Victocrats allowed. Why? Because we've got a country to save. Join me, Larry Elder, tonight starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The argument that's made by DACA proponents is a deferred action for childhood arrivals that Trump is supposed to announce officially today that he is going to end, but not for 6 months, to give Congress time to act in the interim. Perhaps act to create some kind of permanent status for those minors who came here and were minors before the year 2012, when President Obama started the program, and came here with their parents. So it's the argument that, well, you shouldn't punish the children for the sins of their parents, right?
Because a lot of them were so young, they didn't even know that they were being taken out of their homeland and coming to America.
That's the left's argument. You shouldn't punish children for the sins of the parents.
Mm-hmm.
What about in education? What about in schools? Does the left's argument hold up there? Let me introduce you to Bank Street School in Manhattan. It's an elite private school. Anshu Wahi is a leading figure in the movement to separate races in order to raise up minorities to elite status. She considers herself a social justice warrior and has been director of diversity at Bank Street for the last 4 years. The curriculum at Bank Street. Students are segregated into separate classes. White kids are taught to raise their, quote, awareness of the prevalence of whiteness and privilege, unquote, challenging assumptions of normal, good, and American, and understand and own European ancestry and see the tie to privilege. In a separate room, black kids are encouraged to voice their feelings and share experiences about being a kid of color. Under Bank Street's racial justice and advocacy curriculum, parents say teachers push white kids to grapple with America's history of racism. They indoctrinate them into thinking systemic racism still exists and that they're part of the problem and must hold themselves accountable even for acts of racism committed by others. Wait, what about sins of the parents or great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents? What happens to the left's contention when it comes to schools? And by the way, one of the reasons we talk about K through 12 and post-secondary education so much is because that is central to culture. It's central to America's success, the quality of our schools. And so many people are content to have money thrown at schools and think that is the barometer for a successful school, or how many kids go to top 100 four-year universities after high school. That's the barometer. Is it? Or is what they're learning and what they're coming out to affect as adults the barometer? So what about that? What happened to the sins of the parents argument here? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. The administration teaches students as young as 6 that they're born racist and should feel guilty benefiting from white privilege, according to a New York Post write-up on the Bank Street School. Activist Mommy blogger writes, kids are coming home in tears saying, I'm a bad person. Another girl is seen confessing on video, quote, I feel guilty for having a privilege I don't deserve. What do you think? Gee, where does this end up? At all those elite universities that we measure a K through 12 system success by, right? Cornell, Ivy League, encouraging students to be narcs. Report peers for negative reactions to LGBT Safe Place project. I mean, there's just the layers of that statement alone. Cornell administrators are encouraging students who encounter negative reactions to the school's Safe Place project to report them to a bias reporting team member. Flyers on campus. What if someone discriminates against me because I support Safe Place? Good question. Here's your answer. Negative reactions tend to be very rare, says the Orwellian, anonymous administrator. If they do occur, report it to the Office of Workforce Diversity, Equity, and Life Quality via a bias reporting team member, such as the coordinator of the LGBT Resource Center. How do you like that for a sentence? That's where Bank Street ends at Cornell. Thought crimes. I mean, ultimately, we're getting to thought crimes. This would still be a speech crime. I mean, if this was the policy, if this was the policy when I was at Northwestern, I would have permanently been in Northwestern University jail.
Yeah, you would have been.
Or expelled.
Or accidentally pushed down the stairs, or did he fall?
Oh, yeah, right. By these ninnies, please. Bring it. Yeah, that's Cornell. What is the culture on campus, including K through 12 campuses? It's so bad. You have to have breathless op-eds from serious academics. In the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, the dean of the Cal Berkeley School of Law, putatively one of the best law schools in the country, and the chancellor of the University of California, Irvine, a free speech to-do list for college administrators. You need this kind of instruction, or at least these academic leaders need to feel the need to impart this kind of basic kindergarten instruction for college administrators. Listen to their 5-point to-do list for free speech on campus. Is it that complicated? Disseminate a clear statement of free speech values and create opportunities to teach the campus about free speech. If you're going to Berkeley Law and you don't know the First Amendment, you shouldn't be at Berkeley Law. Number 2, publish a clear statement supporting the presence of controversial speakers before incidents occur. Number 3, devise and publicize transparent and neutral procedures for approving events. Number 4, ensure everyone's safety.
Oh, my God.
Really? Number 5, put in place rules that prohibit disrupting the speech of others during authorized campus events with disciplinary measures when appropriate. Oh, so you didn't learn from your parents. Don't interrupt people who are talking, particularly adults, particularly speakers invited to campus. I need a college administrator to promulgate these 5 basic points about civility in the adult world, even the soon-to-be adult world.
And
that's how bad this is.
Yeah, I love that the college leaders, too, are told about security. Make sure it's a secure place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, this isn't supposed to be
You're
Lord
not
of the
supposed
Flies
to do
here? We're not supposed to pass around the conch shell in a state of nature? Oh, well, heavens. Thanks so much, law school dean, chancellor of Cal Irvine. I mean, honestly, that op-ed, and I know it was well-intended by these 2 academics, but it tells you everything you need to know about the culture on campus. They felt the need to write it. Rich on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, I just wanted to say that I was an employee at a prestigious university in Hyde Park. Well, we won't go any further than that.
Boy, I don't know what that is.
Scratching my head.
And I was accused of saying something political. Well, they didn't really tell me what it was, and so they brought me into human resources, and they said, somebody reported that you made some statements, and I said, okay, who was that, and what statements did I make? And they said, well, because of confidentiality, we can't tell you that. And I said, well, how can I defend myself against that? In other words, you can make an accusation that I said something, but you won't tell me who the accuser is. And you won't know. They said, well, you have to tone down your political viewpoints. And I said, well, I don't know what it is that I said. And I said, what am I doing here? So sadly enough, because of that, I had to bring in my union rep who said, this is a waste of time. If you're not willing to allow this guy to defend himself for something that supposedly he said, couldn't anybody come along and just say he said something and you hold it against him? He's in here. This is embarrassing. This is an insult. And sure enough, they said, well, we're just giving you a warning. This is a verbal warning. And I said, warning for what?
Yeah.
You haven't accused me. You haven't told me what I did. So that's communism.
Yeah, no, it really is.
That is.
It really is. It's. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. You're absolutely right, Rich.
It wasn't. It was. I was so mad. I was beside myself because I said, listen, if I said something, that's fine, but I have the right to defend myself. And they said, no, it's confidential. We can't divulge that. So I said, that makes no sense at all. Who came up with this policy? Well, naturally, then the human resources person got offended that I said that.
Oh, gosh, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
the layers of offending. Well, that's right.
Yes.
That's the catch-all. We can eliminate due process if someone got offended. And, of course, you have to protect the offended party, so you can't disclose, so there's no way to defend, and there's no due process to adjudicate. That leaves you, I mean, it is. That is totalitarianism, but that's the culture on campuses.
I was an employee. Imagine what it's like for students if somebody has say they're mad at somebody for a personal reason. They could just say they said something and they can go and humiliate them.
They could.
They're already doing that.
Thanks for the call, Rich. They could accuse them of rape and then have Rolling Stone write a fictional story about it.
Completely shut down a fraternity for no reason at all.
How about
too.
that?
Yeah.
How about being accused
Ruin
of rape?
kids' lives.
How about having your son falsely accused of rape and having Rolling Stone write a breathless expose on it without any evidence, conjuring up sources?
That was so fraudulent.
And the consequences are Rolling Stone has to, make a civil settlement. Those consequences are not sufficient.
After lives are ruined. Can't go back to your college years.
Speaking of teachers at the K through 12 level, Antifa.
Yeah.
And then, we're talking about
Antifa?
Berkeley. Yeah, Antifa, potato, potato. By any means necessary, which is another one of these anti-fascist, fascist thug groups. They were involved in the riots at Berkeley, Sacramento, elsewhere. Dozens of public school teachers among its members. One of its most prominent organizers, Yvette Falarka, Berkeley middle school teacher and pro-violence militant. She faces inciting a riot charges for her role in violence in Sacramento. Another teacher, high school teacher Nicole Conaway, organized a sick-out at her school in 2015, leading other teachers to call in sick to protest the policies of Republican Governor Rick Snyder. She's in Michigan, obviously. The sick-out forced 6 Detroit area schools to cancel classes, affecting 4,000 students. So, again, I mean, just like those red shirts in the Chicago Teachers Union, literally and figuratively, when you see them march on Daley Plaza because they, if they have to pay, their fair share contribution for their 7-figure guaranteed pensions, that's slavery, according to Karen Lewis. You got to. I mean, these are leftist agitators, hard left agitators. In some cases, hard left agitators who condone and engage in violence, and they're teaching kids. David in Lake Forest, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. My daughter just started the 4th grade, and I've been very proactive in telling her that in regards to her and her family, even though we are white, there is no white privilege. We have what we have through hard work. My mother came here to this country legally from Ireland. My father's parents fled to America from Bohemia at the outbreak of World War II. There was nobody waiting to greet my mother or my father's parents to give them whatever. It was through hard work that I was raised in Lake Forest. It's through my hard work and my wife's hard work that my daughter is being raised in Lake Forest.
Well,
privilege has nothing to do with it. It's hard work.
Well, David, I'll tell you what. I'm just put you on notice. You're not going to get that professorship at the Bank Street School. I'll tell you that right now. Thanks for the call, David. Mike on the north side.
Good morning, kids. Thanks for taking my call. First off, Dan, we want to expand the number of safe spaces for LGBT members, not contract them. Because remember, in this state, LGBT is love, guns, bacon, and Trump.
Right, of course.
We need more places. We need more places we can recruit, so we can have somebody besides the Republican Party to turn to, and that vidkid Quisling, who stabbed us in the back, Bruce Rauner, with DACA, made this a sanctuary state. That sound you heard was not Latinos going to vote for him, but business owners going across the border because they don't want to pay all these extra costs. And Illinois is going to turn out to be the Venezuela of the Midwest. You're going to have runaway inflation, people starving, and look what you have in Venezuela now, 12-year-old prostitutes. It was the most profitable, the best economy south of the border. And what happened? Socialism and democratic socialism just ran it into the ground.
Thanks, Mike.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Back to work on Wall Street today. Package delivery services are staffing up for the holidays. Apple ready to launch new products. Those stories next.
Oh, how my soul praises the Lord. How my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior.
Hi, this is Kevin Sorbo. You just heard the voice of Bailey Madison portraying Mary in the new Breathe Audio Bible. Bailey and I are just two of the nearly 100 voices you'll hear in this new dramatic audio theater presentation of the New Testament. This project grew out of the desire to create an audio dramatization so vivid you'd feel like you were actually there. To do this right, I knew we needed not just a stellar cast, but also people who had a passion and heart for the Bible. So I asked friends like Josh Lucas, Corbin Blue, and John Rhys Davies to join me. From the horrific sounds at the foot of the cross to the excitement of a blind man who regained his sight, I know you'll find Breathe to be a life-changing audio experience. To secure your copy of the Breathe Audio Bible, visit breathebible.com. That's breathebible.com.
It's back to work as the financial world returns to full activity after the long Labor Day weekend. Economic reports due out today include updates on factory orders as well as Gallup's Consumer Confidence Index. With economists predicting another record-breaking season for online shopping this Christmas, package delivery services are bulking up their staffs to be ready for the crush of deliveries. FedEx and UPS have filled vacancies and added new positions. Amazon had its own nationwide job fair last month. In less than 1 week, Apple is planning a major event to launch new products, including, it is expected, 3 new iPhone models and a new smartwatch. The September 12th public event marks the 10th anniversary of Apple's iconic iPhone. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Moderation in pursuit of justice is a virtue, for New York Times columnist David Brooks. The truth is plural, writes Brooks in What Moderates Believe. Brooks puts fresh finish on the worn-out bipartisan compromise trope, arguing that politics is usually a tension between two or more views, each of which possesses a piece of truth. Brooks doesn't consider that people can work together to end racial discrimination, just as they can work together to rob a bank. The means is less important than the ends. Brooks characterizes moderates as courageous for recognizing what they don't know, only to turn around and claim that government can create a platform upon which the beautiful things in life can flourish. So an individual moderate is humbled and thus restrained by his ignorance, but a group of moderates, given the power of the state, is transformed into an omniscient force for good. David Brooks, in his press sweater vest, is the archetype of the moderate ideologue. He is who conservative U.S. Senator Malcolm Wallop was describing when Wallop said, "The problem with the Republican Party is if the Democrats introduce legislation to burn down the U.S. Capitol, Republicans would compromise and agree to phase it in over 3 years."
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls and send texts, making it easy for you and your customers to stay connected. Even get voicemails transcribed. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Did Trump make the right call to delay DACA elimination by 6 months at 7:07?
And later, Sacramento is paying gang members to remain peaceful should it happen here. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 5 dead, 42 shot over the Labor Day holiday weekend. Dogs and cats displaced by Harvey arrive in Waukegan. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
To the dreamers, it could be a nightmare. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
All I want is to contribute back to this country.
She was at a rally in California, one of several nationwide, supporting illegal immigrants brought here as kids, protected by an Obama program that President Trump plans to end. An announcement expected this morning. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The White House plans to delay enforcement of the president's decision for 6 months, giving Congress a window in which to work on a legislative fix. But House Speaker Paul Ryan said he didn't think the president should terminate DACA, which grants work permits to undocumented immigrants who arrived in the country as children. Approximately 800,000 undocumented immigrants are benefiting from DACA. Those so-called dreamers could be deported if Congress fails to pass an immigration bill by next March. Dave?
Now, John, Congress returns today from its long summer break. DACA joins a long list of issues, including passing a budget, raising the debt limit, tax reform, and nearly $8 billion in disaster aid for Texas. More than 100,000 homes were flooded. Some still are in the Houston area.
I'm going to let this swampy water sit for a month in my house, and it'll contaminate everything upstairs, too. I'm incensed that they're not letting us in to take care of our homes when we had no warning.
Our home was flooded when water was let out of reservoirs to protect the downtown. Hurricane Harvey's blamed for at least 60 deaths. And here comes Irma. The update just out makes it a Category 5 hurricane with 175-mile-an-hour wind. Warnings are up for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Florida could also take a hit.
There is the potential for this to go into the Gulf of Mexico. There is the potential for this to hug along the coast. Again, we're 5 days out, and we still have to add the potential for error.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean, people in Florida getting ready, buying water, batteries, and doing other storm preparations. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunrise in Chicago, 60 degrees, winds northwest at 10. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Another holiday weekend, another wave of shootings, 5 killed, 42 shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 4 were wounded in a shooting in Bellwood. 3 men and a woman shot last night outside a home on Bellwood Avenue near Jackson Street. Bond set at $2 million for a Chicago man accused of putting a 2-year-old boy in burning hot bathwater. Jarvon Crosley appeared in court yesterday on a charge of aggravated battery to a child. Classes begin today at Chicago public schools. Thousands of students heading back to the classroom following summer break. Mayor Emanuel speaking out yesterday, bragging about graduation rates at city schools, and then went on to say that even if President Trump takes action to end DACA, Chicago's community colleges will still be a welcome place for all youngsters, as AM 560's David Stewart reports.
Mayor Emanuel says it's not fair to undocumented young people who volunteered their personal information to the federal government in the belief that they could finish their education to now have that information used against them. Emanuel said Friday Chicago will still welcome dreamers.
We're the only city in the United States, if you get a B average in high school, community college is free and it's open to dreamers, and we will never, ever change that policy.
Emanuel said it's time for President Trump to stop trying to tear down President Obama's agenda and start building one of his own. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Dozens of dogs and cats left homeless by Hurricane Harvey arrived in Waukegan Monday to receive medical care and await adoption. GreaterGood.org financed that flight from a Texas shelter. The plane was flown by Wings of Rescue. The animals will be examined by vets, evaluated for adoption, and then could be in your home soon. Pirates crushed the Cubs 12-0, while the Indians edged the White Sox 5-3. The news service of Ashley Home Store. It's summer's last splash, and the big savings at Ashley Home Store's Labor Day event has been extended. Get 30% off or 72 months, no interest on select furniture and mattress sets. Sale ends Monday only at Ashley Home Store. This is home. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next. on AM 560.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
7:06. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. A fire on Chicago's South Side has 103rd closed. Wentworth, Perry. The Edens Expressway inbound is 29 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27th at Kennedy. 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 18 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 22 minutes to Montrose, 53 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's now an hour and 2 minutes Thorndale to downtown, 48 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 42 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to the Drive, outbound 42 minutes. To Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 31 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 423. Lakeshore Drive still okay. Northbound tri-state delays are from Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed from the tri-state to the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway fine. Veterans Memorial, those 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Indiana Toll Road has big delays westbound Calumet Avenue to Klein Avenue in Hammond. Got a truck fire blocking 3 right lanes. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, breezy and cool with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower for the afternoon, high 69. Then a cool night tonight with patchy clouds, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Sunshine 58 right now. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. On AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump said this during the campaign about President Obama's DACA program and DAPA, deferred action for childhood arrivals, as well as deferred action for permanent relatives of permanent residents. This is Trump in Arizona during a campaign rally as a candidate.
We will immediately terminate President Obama's 2 illegal executive amnesties in which he defied federal law and the Constitution to give amnesty to approximately 5 million illegal immigrants. 5 million.
Okay, that's what he said on the campaign trail. But
And by the way, it wasn't him just saying that. The Fifth District Court of Appeals enjoined President Obama from the DAPA program, the Deferred Action for Parents of Lawful Permanent Residents, saying he had overreached his constitutional authority. Now, he ignored that injunction, but that was the Fifth Circuit weighing in on the topic. And now he is suggesting that he is going to end DACA, but not for 6 months.
Yes, he's going to have Congress, have the lawmakers, give them a chance to fix it. And the decision, I don't think, is coming from the White House, because today the Department of Justice, Jeff Sessions, is going to be holding a press conference to discuss the future of DACA.
No,
that takes place at 10 o'clock this morning.
How is the decision not coming from the White House?
Well, he's going to be President Obama. I just think that the Justice Department is dealing with this issue because he's having the press conference, not President Trump.
The decision is coming from the White House, and reportedly it's coming specifically from General Kelly, his chief of staff, who inveighed on the president to at least defer ending it. He was opposed to ending it. This is an executive decision. What Justice is going to talk about is perhaps whether or not they're going to defend DACA to legal challenges that are being telegraphed by the customary cities and states you would expect.
Yeah, we're not 9 different states, Texas, one of them.
Right, and so Jeff Sessions has already indicated he believes DACA to be unconstitutional, so he won't be defending the program.
All right, well,
that's what Justice is going to weigh in on.
Okay, but after President Trump, became President Trump in February, this is what he said. Maybe he's softening a little bit on DACA.
We are going to deal with DACA with heart. I have to deal with a lot of politicians, don't forget. And I have to convince them that what I'm saying is right. And I appreciate your understanding on that. But the DACA situation is a very difficult thing for me. Because, I love these kids. I love kids.
Mm-hmm. And now some are opposed to Trump giving Congress a 6-month window because they believe that, per Paul Ryan's indication that he essentially doesn't believe DACA should be discontinued, that this will give Congress 6 months to create amnesty for those DACA designees, if you will.
I'm okay with that. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I really feel if DACA ends, that will be death to the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's seen as heartless. And I know, and considering that, 1,500 DACA recipients have been deported so far for committing crimes, engaging in gang-related activity.
I thought they were all in school and working.
No, not all of them.
Oh.
Just like everything. There's some bad, but some of them haven't broken any laws. A lot of them haven't. Property owners, solid jobs, great community members, graduated from college.
Is that the standard for entrance into this country? Because if that's the standard, then who can we prevent from coming here? I mean, then should we have open borders? Because here's the news. 70% of the world's population lives in poverty. So Burundi, I mentioned earlier, Burundi, the UN suggests that the Burundi government is committing war crimes against its people. Every war-torn country, how many should we go through over the last 20 years? Rwanda, Sudan, the Balkans. Everybody who wants to come to this country should be allowed in, so long as the only thing that they did illegally was to come here illegally. Is that right? Syria. I mean, I want to understand what the law is, because it's very easy to say, I'm compassionate because I'm going to offer a special dispensation for this person or this group of people. Well, what about other people that are similarly situated? What about other people who are trying to emigrate to this country legally?
But we're talking about kids who were brought to this country before the age of 16.
If I can finish my question.
I'm not done yet.
What about people who are trying to emigrate to this country legally?
Yeah.
And now, because we don't have control of our borders, you have people that are otherwise inclined to support the legal immigration of productive people from wherever that say no, that support Tom Cotton's RAISE Act, which would cut legal immigration in this country by half over the next 10 years. I mean, there are consequences to this. It's very easy to look at the one individual or the one group and say, I'm going to make a special case for them, and not track the unintended consequences of leading with feelings as opposed to something more profound, like a constitutional standard, like a legal standard. Let me just analogize this to something that's very interesting. Friend of the show, Margie Rush, she's the publisher, the president of Regnery Publishing, right, conservative publisher. They announced over the weekend that Regnery will no longer recognize the New York Times' accounting of book sales, meaning its writers can no longer claim to be quote-unquote New York Times best-selling authors, which is a big deal in the book business. That's, part of like branding and marketing, right? She's annoyed, and this has been a long-running thing. We spoke with her on this show last year about this. New York Times kind of cooking the rankings to move conservative authors down the list. They famously wouldn't put Ted Cruz's book on their bestseller list because they said he had somebody buy 20,000 of his books en masse, which there was no evidence that ever happened. He denied that ever happened. So they're out of that business. And Margie said something interesting. She said, I ask you to consider this. We're often told it's foolish to bite the hand that feeds you. I say it's just as foolish to feed the hand that bites you. I think there's something about what she's doing and her description that's applicable. And it's applicable to Republicans who operate from a premise of fear with respect to policymaking. And it's that this is the case with DACA. They're afraid to be cast, just as you said, to be cast as heartless. They're afraid. And so they're making policy decisions based on fear. And let me tell you something. Number one, you rarely make a good decision when you make it based out of fear in any aspect of life. Number two, are we just feeding the hand that bites us? You think there's going to be a residual benefit to this? Or are we just feeding the hand that bites us?
Well, also, too, if they end DACA, how are we going to get 800,000 people out of here? You think they're voluntarily going to go? They're just going to give up their home. Here, have the keys to my house. I'll go. My mom brought me here when I was 3. I don't even remember anything till I was 5. But here, have my house, have my job, have my position in the church. That's why it seems heartless. And remember, because I know some dreamers, and they've had to live with this fear their whole lives of, oh my gosh, my parents made a mistake, and now I don't know, are they going to come to get me? What's going to happen? And whoever's in control at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue determines whether or not they're going to sleep well at night.
Actually,
and they're not sleeping well right now.
Actually, their parents determined that when they came here illegally, didn't they?
Yeah, and a lot of them wanted a better life for their kids. I can't fault them for that.
I know.
You can't either.
And so what's the standard? What's the standard for entrance to this country?
I think that...
Do you have one?
That, you know what? If you want to do a little negotiation with the lawmakers, we'll give amnesty to DACAs, to people who are to the dreamers, in order to fund a border wall. That sounds like the best solution ever.
That's the Yuval Levin compromise, as he wrote in the National Review over the weekend, trying to find common ground and see if there's a deal to be had here. Well, that's one suggestion. Is that a deal that people would assent to? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line.
It's the best idea I've heard yet.
Andrew in Chesterton, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I mean, to Amy's point, if DACA continues, the Republican Party's finished. Look what happened in California with Reagan, with his amnesty. I mean, do you think Reagan could get elected nowadays? I mean, they already think we're heartless.
Feeding the hand that bites us, right?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Thanks for the call, Andrew.
Yeah.
Clay in Downers Grove.
Hi, Amy and Dan. I want to ask Amy how these illegal immigrants got a United States Social Security number in order to get a house loan or a car payment or a job, for that matter.
Well, I mean, they have a work permit if they're of age, and that's the provision under DACA. But that is temporary, and so right. So your point, Clay, is if they were no longer here legally, then that becomes a more complicated proposition, doesn't it?
Exactly. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Bill in Skokie.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bill.
So, just to go back to the sins of the fathers thing, I don't know if anyone knows how many dreamers there are. I've heard 800,000, whatever.
Right.
Is it fair to the kids who were born here to have to compete with however many dreamers, for jobs and so forth? I mean, I just think that's kind of been left out of it so far. That's going to have huge ramifications.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Well, this is my question, and you've, in part, raised it in a different way. Okay, the kids don't pay for the sins of the parents. Who does? Who does? I think that's a fair question to ask. Annie in Lakeview.
Oh, thank you for taking my call. I always believe that this is an opportunity for the dreamers to go back to their own countries and improve their countries so that wave after wave doesn't have to come here for a better life. Americans, homeless Americans who speak English, would not have a chance in Mexico until there's a little fairness between our countries. I think they should go like the Peace Corps and help their own country. Look, they want to cancel Christopher Columbus Day because we don't help indigenous people. But you know what? All our states are named after Indians. We celebrate Thanksgiving. We give honor to our Indian and pilgrims. We have a great heritage of Native American Indians. Why don't they share their Black History Month with indigenous people? Why don't the Latinos help their indigenous people? I think it's very unfair for us to have to give other people a good life.
Okay, thanks, Annie. Lucy and Morris.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Listen, first off, I think Trump's doing the right thing. He's ending something that allegedly Obama did illegally and giving it to Congress so they can do their job. At least that's my opinion.
Okay. All right, thanks for the call.
Secondly,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's okay. On the DACA thing, basically we're going to let these people stay here anyway. The way I think we should do this is give them legal rights, whatever that entails, but not citizenship. If they want to be citizens, they get in line behind everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And those that their parents that brought them here, they can have legal rights too, only they can never be citizens. That's the price they have to pay for coming here illegally. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think it's that hard a deal.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Lucy. That's another compromise proposal. That's certainly within the bounds of reasonableness. The only question is, does this continue to encourage, as somebody mentioned Reagan's 1986 amnesty deal, and what did that do? That was $2 million at that time. And what do we have 20 years later? 20 million. So does it encourage it because we're just going to make the next deal for the next bigger, better population of people that are claiming rights and being backed by politicians who endorse lawlessness or de facto open borders? They just won't call it that. I mean, that's the signals you send with the laws that you enforce or don't enforce, the punishments you impose or don't impose, they matter. People pay attention to them, especially people that want to come to this country, and they're all over the world, of course. Dennis in Crystal Lake.
Hey, Dan. Hey, these DACA kids, they get free tuition in state college, correct?
Not free. No. There's like in
a lot of subsidized, right?
Well, there in places like Illinois, there's in-state tuition. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. They get a lot of it, right?
Well,
everybody who lives in state can get in-state tuition.
Well, yeah, right. But yes, but they're not here. I mean, well, yes. Okay, yes, they in-state. Yes, go, Dennis.
Okay, I got 3 kids. They got turned down for every single grant and everything they put in for. Me, my brother, and my cousin Amy, we did 100 years of active duty. Do you hear what I say?
Yes,
100.
I hear you.
And
I thank you for your service.
My kids, I couldn't give my kids my GI Bill. I got turned down for that. Screw these DACA kids.
Thanks, Dennis. Mike on the Northwest Side.
Hi. Send the parents back. If the kids can stay, it's the parents' sins. Send the parents back.
Okay.
And if they're 16, you always hear about the 2- and 3-year-olds that this is the only country they know. Well, if they're 16 or 15, this isn't the only country they know. They can go back. The last thing is, if you want to end these types of programs forever, start deporting some of them because no one will ever sign up for these programs, and that's what you have to do to have the program be effective.
Thanks for the call, Mike. I mean, the breaking up families is the other argument that's
Right.
advanced by proponents. And again, yeah, so that's a choice, isn't it? I mean, and it also, I think, to parents who brought their kids here, what are you saying? You're saying parents are going to leave their kids? Isn't that
or now possibly their grandkids?
Isn't that incredibly bigoted? That would you leave your kids if they were minors in this country and we're not longer saying, "No, I'm going back, but you stay"?
Well, I've known some parents that have left their kids here because they'll get a better life here than in their home country.
That's choice.
Yep,
That's
that is
adult
a choice.
adult decisions. And if they're adult kids, then it's time for them to make adult decisions like their parents did too, isn't it? But I mean, the whole idea of breaking up families only goes in one direction. Like the entire family can't go back to their country of origin. Why not? Ralph and Rantoul.
Hey, good morning. You know, I hear the sins of the fathers will not be, the children won't be held accountable for the sins of the fathers. Okay, fine. All sounds very biblical. But what about the philosophy that we hear all the time in the law, especially when there's illegal search and seizure and people are coming after the police for their evidentiary presentation, which is if the fruit from the poisonous tree, it's not available. So if something was acquired through an illegal act,
right,
that kind of permeates everything that comes from it. So I guess it's only good that we only apply that when it's convenient for us. So if the kid came here illegally, I guess we're just supposed to ignore that because it's just a kid. The kid's not going to be held accountable because the initial act was completely illegal. And I get outraged about this. I lived outside of the country for years. I had to travel around the world. I was asked routinely at every customs place coming in, at every port that I went into, hey, let's see your passport. Do you deserve to be here? Do you have the proper credentials, visa, travel permit, whatever it was? And, you know, it just torques me that we sit here and we think, no, we have no right to define our own borders or protect ourselves just because somebody wanted to load up the Chevy and drive up from Mexico. Stop it. I mean, stop that logic. It's stupid.
Thanks, Ralph. Ron on the south side. Hey, Ron.
Hello?
Hey, Ron, you're on.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yep, you go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Okay, you know what, Dan? If we're going to use that argument about separation of parents, there are a lot of parents that go to prison, and it separates the family.
Yeah.
And also, there are a lot of times when parents make mistakes, and you know what? It affects the child. So you know what? That argument is baseless. So they need to be gone. Abide by the rule. I'm a parent, and one reason I have followed the law is because I know it would have an impact on my child. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Ron. Fair point.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Your sump pump is the only thing in your home standing in the way of water rushing in and damaging the personal belongings you care so deeply about. Yet it is often the most overlooked and unappreciated system in your home. Your car has a check engine light, your computer warns against viruses, and your fridge tells you when to change the filter. So why shouldn't a sump pump warn you if there's a risk of losing tens of thousands of dollars in water damage? A pump that just beeps warnings at you is no good if you don't hear it. Over the decades of our business, we've experienced and analyzed every reason why people's homes flood. With today's technology, we believe that flooding is not just unacceptable, it is now completely preventable. That's why today's best practice for flood prevention is to install a protector system with built-in self-testing and notification. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content on our digital platform that complements what we do on the show. It's All original content, long-form interviews, and our Against the Current series. This week, still we're featuring Charles Thomas and Maze Jackson, the WVON morning team, talking about race and racial politics in Chicago and Illinois. That's worth checking out. Maze and Charles have a lot of interesting things to say. Our My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, Pat Hughes' 2-minute warnings, Dollars and Cents commentaries, as well as our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segment this week on the sanctuary state legislation that Governor Rauner signed. And our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features, I should say, professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient public policy issues of the day and their impact on household budgets. You can get it all by visiting and signing up at upstream-ideas.com.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Jessica Vaughn, Policy Director at the Center for Immigration Studies, and we'll also introduce you to the E.L. James of school superintendents in Illinois.
And later, Sacramento is going to pay gang members to remain peaceful should we bring that program to Chicago. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 60 degrees in just a matter of hours. President Trump is expected to announce an end to the Obama era executive action that protects illegal immigrants brought into the U.S. as children. That's supposed to give Congress time to pass legislation impacting the 800,000 now covered by the so-called DACA program. Angel Romero is a 19-year-old DACA participant in Virginia.
We fought before, and we're going to continue to fight.
Congress returns from its August recess today, facing a long list of things demanding action, including the DACA program, deadlines to keep government funding running, also high on the list, an $8 billion White House request for Hurricane Harvey relief. Still too soon to know how many of the more than 37,000 heavily damaged homes in Texas are salvageable. Houston officials say some will be submerged in water in that city for up to a month. Thousands have already been destroyed near Corpus Christi, thanks to the Category storm making landfall there and the staggering amounts of rainfall spawned by Harvey since. NOAA and Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft show Irma data has the hurricane intensifying into an extremely dangerous Category 5 storm with 175-mile-an-hour winds this morning. Right now, it's way too early to tell exactly where Irma is headed. An airline passenger who got out of hand now has to pay the airline nearly $100,000. Federal judge yesterday ordering James August to pay Hawaiian Airlines the $100,000 because his antics forced that plane to turn around. Another holiday weekend, another wave of shootings in Chicago. 5 died, 42 were shot over the Labor Day holiday weekend. State police are searching for the person who shot a man on the Ike near Hillside. The shooting happened Sunday night while the victim was simply changing a tire near Manheim Road. Pirates beat the Cubs 12-0. Carlos Santana with a home run, maybe with his guitar. White Sox beaten by the Indians 5-3. They've won 12 straight. The News is a service of Boost Mobile. Switch to Boost. Get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE data per line for only $50. Plus, get up to 2 free LG X-Power phones, all powered by the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 7:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound delays start at Oakton. It's 25 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, it's 39 minutes from Lake Cook. Kennedy, hour and 6 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 36 minutes from Montrose, 33 in the Express. Outbound, 57 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, hour and 6 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 57 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 44 minutes. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow from the 83rd Street toll to 75th. Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorial now really heavy from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Then Butterfield to Roosevelt. From the Army Trail toll to the Eisenhower. Traffic service for Cece's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of Cece's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on Cece's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A partly sunny day ahead. We'll have a mostly sunny this morning. Cooler with stray showers developing later in the afternoons as the clouds increase. A high of 69 and a low of 50 overnight. Right now it is 50 in Aurora, 58 along the lakefront, officially 55 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The
This
Answer.
hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, no matter which way President Trump goes on DACA, or President Trump and Congress, don't forget them, it's going to be litigated. I mean, right now there is litigation, looming lawsuit, I should say, by 10 Republican state attorneys general to rescind DACA, arguing it's unconstitutional. Now, the prospect of rescinding DACA, even 6 months from now, has Washington Attorney General threatening to file suit. Bob Ferguson saying he will sue the federal government if Trump ends the program. And New York Governor and Attorney General Cuomo and Schneiderman, Attorney General there, also saying that they will litigate the matter if it ends. So either way, it's going to be litigated and maybe ultimately adjudicated by the Supreme Court. But that'll be years down the road. For more on what is pressing before us now, we're pleased to be joined by Jessica Vaughn, who is the Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies. Jessica, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
So even among those who support rescinding DACA, there's a disagreement. Some find President Trump's apparent agreement to delay rescinding DACA for 6 months judicious and sensible, and others, including Congressman Steve King of Iowa, don't like it because they believe that it will give Congress the window of opportunity they need to come up with amnesty for DACA designees. Where do you come down on that?
Well, the president had no choice, in my view, because DACA is clearly improperly done, unconstitutional, should not have been done that way, and only Congress can create immigration categories for people, no matter how sympathetic. And it's puzzling to me that some members of Congress are not more upset about this power grab that Barack Obama made when he was president. So that's why I think that the DACA program really has to end. I mean, I think it was bad policy as well as being illegal. And if it was illegal for Barack Obama to do it, it's illegal for President Trump to do it. And that's the way the attorneys general of the 10 states that are suing over these executive amnesties see it as well. The president should end DACA, and Congress, if it chooses to, should come up with a plan for a legalization program for the for at least some of the beneficiaries of it. But that's Congress's prerogative. They may choose not to, or they may, just choose to fight over it. But I think they're going to do something, and Congress needs a deadline, and the president is going to give them one.
So, Jessica, if they end DACA, what should happen to the 800,000 dreamers who are here?
Well, nothing will happen to them right away, at least not most of them who are here, working, living their lives. They're not a priority for deportation unless they have disqualified themselves in some other way, such as by a criminal conviction, or if it's found that they got DACA by fraud. And I have to say, I would support an amnesty program for them as long as it comes with provisions to mitigate the fiscal costs of it and the future chain migration impacts of such a huge amnesty program. And I think that's a deal that Congress should seize on and get it done, and let's move forward and start dealing with other urgent immigration problems like sanctuary cities and the enforcement problems, border security, entry-exit, E-Verify, and all of that. It is kind of interesting to me that so many people seem to think that the DACA program is the most urgent immigration issue we face when, there are, I think, many more urgent ones for public safety.
You think sanctuary city, sanctuary state is more serious?
I do, yes. I mean, the ICE director, Tom Homan, said recently that there have been 10,000 criminal aliens released by sanctuary cities who have gone on to commit new crimes after they were released. Now, that's a public safety urgent problem.
So
nothing's going to happen to the Dreamers. They're not going to be deported, as I said, unless they do something else. They'll be fine, but it's not okay for people to continue to be victimized by people who should be deported.
So how did you react to the signing last week by our governor here, Republican Governor Bruce Rauner, of what they call the Trust Act, which others call the Sanctuary State Act? They're arguing that this doesn't prevent local and state law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities, but it's a difficult argument to make out. If it doesn't do anything, then why did you pass and sign the legislation? So anyway, your reaction to it?
You're exactly right. This is a state sanctuary bill, and one that means that local law enforcement agencies cannot cooperate with federal immigration authorities who are doing their legitimate and important mission of enforcing our immigration laws, which protect the integrity of our legal immigration system, and also have a public safety benefit to boot because they're focused on removing criminal aliens, that small fraction of the immigrant population that is committing crimes. And it's a mystery to me how Republican governors like Governor Rauner, and there's Governor Baker in Massachusetts and a few others around the country, think that this is at all to their benefit politically, either that they are somehow going to be able to, out-pander Democrats on immigration issues by going soft on enforcement. It just doesn't make any sense politically because both independents and Democrats and Republicans agree that our immigration laws should be enforced, particularly against criminal aliens. And you have law enforcement agencies lining up against sanctuary policies. This is a no-brainer that he, I think really made a mistake on.
Well, it's interesting too, Amy. We talked about this, that as much as they're defending and attacking conservatives who are opposed to the sanctuary state bill, they've got a little problem, and the little problem is that 64 of 69 Republican state legislators voted against the bill. So, so what do those Republican legislators know or not know that the governor doesn't know or does know?
Maybe they met with the people who have lost family members or been victimized by the criminal aliens that get released by the sanctuary policies. Governor Rauner couldn't be bothered to meet with those people or even speak with them about their concerns.
Right, but originally saying that he would meet with them, and then he didn't even do that.
Yeah. So he, really, it's pretty shocking, actually, that he could not bring himself to do that.
So with respect to kind of these parallel tracks of immigration policy and the rule of law where it is applied, how do we make sense of something? How do we make sense of this where we can have kind of a unified theory of immigration in this country? You've got the sanctuary city, sanctuary state. You've got DACA. You've got DAPA. You've got H-1B visa programs and arguing about caps. You've got Tom Cotton's RAISE Act that seeks to reduce legal immigration by 50% over the next 10 years. How do we get a unified theory of what immigration laws should be in this country such that everybody is held to the same standard no matter their country of origin? It is transparent, it's predictable, and if you're identified as somebody that would add value to this country, is coming here to make a better life for yourself and your family, and that's obvious, expedite that process as well.
That's exactly right. We do need immigration reform, and we need to have some unifying principles. First of all, our immigration policy needs to work for the United States of America and its people. That's who it should serve, our national interest. It needs to protect our national security. It needs to admit the people that Congress decides should get in the numbers that Congress decides that we can absorb, and people who violate our laws, who shouldn't be here, who overstay their visas, they should be sent home in a very transparent and humane process. I think everyone would agree with that. That's not what we have going on right now. The numbers don't work for us. The skill sets are not there in our immigration flow. It's primarily dominated by family immigration. It all needs to be adjusted so that it, again, works for our country and that we have we already have the most generous legal immigration system in the world. But it does need to be tweaked because it is disadvantaging many Americans and even recent legal immigrants in terms of the labor market. All of that can be adjusted. There's a plan out there to do it that was introduced by Senator Tom Cotton called the RAISE Act that you referred to, which would reorient our legal immigration system and create a point system so that the most qualified applicants get in regardless of where they come from or whether they know anybody who's already here. That's an immigration system that we need to move toward. And this is an opportunity to do it. If Congress only passes immigration laws once in a while, and if President Trump pushing them to do something for the Dreamers in exchange for these other reforms that would make our immigration system better, that's a good deal that Americans should be able to unite around and that Congress should be able to unite around.
She is Jessica Vaughn, Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies. Jessica, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
After your choice of spouse, where you send your kids to school is the most important decision you make. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models who get to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and top 100 high school in America from U.S. News, particularly with the tax credit scholarships coming online in Illinois. You should check out Northridge Prep. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 22nd to learn more. Visit northridgeprep.org. That website again, northridgeprep.org. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take the pledge at GetScreenedNow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself,
and nothing rhymes with org.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
Fall is the best time to feed your lawn. With 10% off Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard Fall Weed and Feed and Fall Lawn Food at the Home Depot. Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard feeds your lawn to build strong, deep grass roots for winter when you need it most. So it'll be lush, green, and beautiful next spring when you want it most. Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard Fall Weed and Feed and Fall Lawn Food. 10% off now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 4th.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy, Peyton, and Eli are about to start school.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm so nervous.
Just be happy they don't have reading time with Nashville Community School Superintendent Ernie Fowler. This is Nashville, Illinois, down in Washington County, deep southern Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
He had a weekly column in the Nashville News, and he decided to get his E.L. James on, and that was a mistake.
What did he write about?
He wrote about a time in a volleyball game which he participated when he was in high school. He wrote that God smiled on him, allowed him to rotate the front line where he was directly across from the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl he liked. Maybe Amy Jacobson. My eyes were in direct line with her well-developed assets, which were hidden under a T-shirt with the word bullets sprawled across the front.
Oh, my gosh.
I wonder who's going to star him in the movie.
Wildly inappropriate.
How
did it end?
Yeah, that's what the parents are saying, and the teachers' union is saying that's had run-ins with him before. He is asking for forgiveness But he said, I guess you don't get mulligans in real life. People tell me they love it, but I said to myself, as soon as I wrote something that offended someone, I would no longer write it regarding his column. Well, he's achieved that distinction.
Has he been suspended or anything, or they're just going to...
His
what happened to the blonde?
status is pending.
See, Dan, this is the reason why boys and girls play volleyball. Hookups. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. No, I don't know. That's gross.
Ernie Fowler, the future star in 50 Shades of Grey Part 2.
Coming up on Chicago's
The
Morning Answer.
Nashville High School edition.
Sacramento wants to pay gang members millions to remain peaceful. How it works and should it come to Chicago? But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
5 are dead, 42 shot over the Labor Day holiday in Chicago. Mayor Emanuel touting gains at CPS. Pirates crushed the Cubs with a bad news for Jake Arrieta fans. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
She grew up fast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and Irma is about as powerful as a hurricane can get, and people in Florida are getting ready.
We've seen the impact of Harvey, so I think it's definitely made a change for us.
Fox's Evan Brown is tracking Irma live in Miami.
Yeah, Dave, Hurricane Hunter aircraft now tell us Irma's top sustained winds are 175 miles an hour. That's squarely into Category 5, and it's matching the strongest recorded winds of Hurricane Andrew, which destroyed towns south of Miami back in 1992. Irma is still east of the Leeward Islands, but will reach them late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Its path brings it to South Florida by the weekend, with the eye as far south as the Straits or as far north as Lake Okeechobee or the Palm Beaches, Dave.
Yeah, but a lot of people in Texas have a lot of cleanup and salvage left to do from Harvey.
You have to take care of all the little stuff. There's an amazing amount of little stuff that you're trying, the little treasures that you're trying to save.
Her home among the more than 100,000 flooded. Some are still underwater. The storm blamed for at least 60 deaths, and many Texans are looking for help from Washington now that Congress is back from summer break. Fox's Jared Halpern live at the Capitol.
The House will vote tomorrow on a nearly $8 billion disaster relief bill, the initial response to Hurricane Harvey.
It won't be the only relief package we vote on. What we want to do is make sure FEMA has the money going forward as the cities and the counties assess the damage.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy making that pledge, visiting the Texas delegation in Houston. By the end of the month, Congress must also raise the country's debt limit and approve a short-term spending bill to avoid a government shutdown. Dave.
Jared, another issue for Congress, DACA, the Obama program that protected immigrants brought here illegally as kids. The Trump administration plans to announce today it'll end it, giving Congress 6 months to act first.
DACA really changed my life. Without DACA, I wasn't able to go to school, college.
He was at a rally outside the White House. Democrats oppose ending the program, calling it cruel. Fox News, fair and balanced.
55 degrees, partly sunny skies. Winds are out of the northwest at 11 this morning. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Another holiday weekend. Another wave of shootings in Chicago. 5 were killed, 42 shot over the Labor Day holiday weekend. Chicago police are investigating the death of a man who collapsed while being questioned by police. Authorities say officers detained that victim last night near 16th and Pulaski, and then became unresponsive as police were questioning him about a robbery. 4 are wounded following a shooting in Bellwood. 3 men and a woman shot last night outside a home on Bellwood Avenue near Jackson Street. Classes begin today at Chicago Public Schools. Mayor Emanuel touting gains.
Our kids now are on their way to a better future, with more and more kids now not only graduating, but going on to college and community college.
The mayor at South Shore College Prep yesterday. Workers in Chicago took to the streets to demand higher pay, thousands marching and rallying in the Loop for a $15 an hour minimum wage. Illinois not waiting for the first flakes to fall to get snowplow drivers on the road. IDOT says it's looking to hire winter road crew members. If you're interested, you need to get an application into the state by next week's deadline. All drivers must have a valid CDL and be able to pass a number of pre-employment checks and tests. Josh Bell belts a 2-run home run. Pirates crush the Cubs 12-0. Jake Arrieta leaving in the third with what's believed to be a minor hamstring injury. Indians edge the White Sox 5-3. The news service of CC's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CC's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CC's Buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Honda owners with defective airbags would receive up to $500 under a settlement with Takata. USA Today says owners of more than 16 million Honda and Acura cars are eligible for the refund. The settlement still must be approved by a federal judge. Now Wells Fargo is being accused of cheating homeowners who were refinancing. The New York Post says representatives talked clients at a Beverly Hills branch into paying a higher interest rate to avoid paying fees to speed up the process. Apple is said to be interested in buying Culver Studios, where The Matrix, Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane, and many other films were shot. Apple's expected to spend more than $1 billion a year on original content. A new version of its TV box is expected to be revealed on September 12th. The Dow was up 39 on Friday. NASDAQ gained 6, S&P up almost 5. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls and send texts, making it easy for you and your customers to stay connected. Even get voicemails transcribed. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. It is heavy on the inbound Kennedy with delays starting at Cumberland, looking at an hour and 13 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 39 in the Express. Outbound 56 minutes to O'Hare. Aiden's 25 minutes Lake Cook to the junction with some delays on the spur as well. Outbound 34 minutes to Lake Cook. The Eisenhower, an hour and 11 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. 54 minutes from Manheim, outbound 54 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 44 minutes. Ryan, 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive is looking good. Southbound, though, very heavy from Lawrence to North Avenue. Southbound Tri-States, though, 120 to 176. Northbound 95th to the 83rd Street toll. Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway, heavy lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, 31 to 59. The Veterans Memorial, it's jammed. I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Breezy with clouds and sun today, along with a stray afternoon shower, high 69. Patchy clouds for the night, low 52. Then a shower in spots tomorrow. Otherwise, cool with a blend of sun and clouds, high 65. Becoming cloudy at night, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 55 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I thought this was the most egregious fund use of money, whether voluntary or taxpayer money. This out of Harvey relief, Amy?
Oh, yeah?
The Austin-based Lilith Fund for Reproductive Equity announced that it created a fund for those affected by the storm who were seeking abortions. Emergency Abortion Fund established for Hurricane Harvey survivors.
What?
I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Has anybody donated to that fund?
They said that they have raised about $4,000 as of close of business Friday.
To do what?
To provide abortions for people who had their appointments canceled because abortion clinics were temporarily closed because of Hurricane Harvey.
Social justice warrior.
Yeah, right. Responding to death and destruction with death. That's, I guess, what the radical pro-abort left does.
I think they're in it for the money. Yeah.
Emergency Abortion Fund. Is that where your first thought went with respect to Harvey? Okay, I thought that was about as egregious and ghoulish as it could get, but then you topped me.
Yes, Sacramento City Council on Tuesday voted unanimously to approve $1.5 million, are you ready for this? To pay criminals over the next 3 years not to commit crimes. It's called the Advanced Peace Project. And ready for this? So if you're a gangbanger and you live in Sacramento, you can get paid $1,000 a month, tax-free, just $1,000, for clean living. You'd have to join you have to complete drug counseling or an education program during this 9-month period, but they are desperate to stop the amount of crime that's going on and to stop the number of homicides. So they're going to, with taxpayer money, $1.5 million, they're paying people to behave.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. A couple of questions here. One, do you support this idea, use of taxpayer dollars? Maybe you'd like to start a GoFundMe page for gangbangers, violent criminals. And then number two, when Amy leaves after the show today to move to Sacramento to join a gang so she can be compensated for not committing crimes, what should her gang name be? I'll take answers to either questions.
And what should your gang name? What's your street name, really? I mean, you got to get some street cred. But here's the deal. So the expense seems high, but the director of this gang prevention program said that homicides cost the city an average of $1 million when you factor in the cost for investigation, prosecution, and incarceration.
Yeah.
So they're promoting this and playing this like we're saving taxpayers money.
I mean, what? Think about it. If you turned all the violent criminals out of our prisons, think about what a cost savings that would be.
Well, they said they know of 50 young men who are committing the majority of the crimes in Sacramento and shootings.
And not the majority. No. The funding for payments to criminal gang members will come from the city's general fund. The money will go to 50 men who are suspected of killing people, but there's not enough evidence to prosecute them. They're not responsible for the majority of the crime. They're responsible for 50
shootings,
suspected murders.
Majority of the shootings. Right, yeah.
50 men suspected of killing people, not enough evidence to prosecute them. You know how you stop their criminal ways? Give them some of your money.
So the question
way
is,
they don't have to take it.
Should this program be implemented in Chicago? 312-642-5600. I mean, our homicide rate keeps going up.
We pay politicians to not steal. It doesn't work. Could we pay gangbangers to not commit violence?
Because remember, Superintendent Johnson said that we know who the majority of the gang. They know who all the gangbangers are. They know.
They said that. Well,
he said that, and there's only in 2 different wards where all the shooting and crime.
Well, it's not just 2 different wards. He said 1,500 people we know are likely to commit a murder or be murdered.
Yes.
Which is
So
an
we could-
amazing statement. 1,500 people in Chicago, we know, this is from Chicago Police, are likely to commit a murder or be murdered. Should we compensate those 1,500 people so that they're neither murdered or murder? And what's the compensation level?
Well,
I mean, you got to make it worth their
1,000
while.
If it's 1,000 in Sacramento, they're probably going to want 2,500 here.
1,000 a month?
1,000 a month, tax free.
That's not enough. Why so chintzy? Come on.
What do you think? They should have negotiated a better deal?
I mean,
all they have is 1.5 million in this fund, and it's a 9-month program.
$12,000 is not a living wage. Now gang members should organize, and they could do the Fight for 15. They could march with those SEIU Purple People Beaters. One suggestion for your street name coming from inside the studio: Notorious AMY. It's not bad.
You know what? That's good.
I like Amy Gunn.
Amy Gunn.
How about the Mount Prospect Machete?
From the mean streets of Mount Prospect.
Now, you'd have to use a machete as your weapon of choice. Not that you would use the weapon because you're being compensated not to machete people.
Right.
Yeah.
What would your street name be?
Vixen. Do you think?
No, I don't think.
Joe in Arlington Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Love your show.
Thank you.
I find it quite chilling that we had news stories on the international scene where for 30 years paying Kim Jong-un and his father before him to be nice, the parallel to paying gangbangers to be nice is so obvious. It's the same as immigration. Let's just give people some more and then they'll behave.
Well, here's the thing. Thanks for the call, Joe. Here's the thing. How do you enforce this? If these 50 guys are suspected of killing people, but there's not enough evidence to prosecute them, how do you take the money away when they kill somebody else and there's not enough evidence to prove that they killed somebody else? Hey, you're reneging on the deal.
We need your money back.
You can't prove I killed that guy. Right? I mean,
what if they skip school if they're in school and they're supposed to be part of this education program?
I'm trying to work the logic of this, but of course there's no logic to it.
Paying people not to commit crimes.
I love it.
What world are we living in? Whew.
Dave in Hammond, Indiana.
Hey, love your show. I think Amy's street name could be AJ Blonde.
AJ Blonde, that's not bad.
Hitting it home, Dave and Hammond.
Thanks for the call.
AJ Blonde, watch out. I don't know if that sounds sinister enough, though. That doesn't say, like, stay away or fear me. That says, maybe we could go out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nice.
It's almost
just like the blonde, that superintendent who looked at the blonde girl with all of her assets on the volleyball court. That's
yeah, I mean, it's AJ Blonde sounds more like a Glow wrestling name, right? Let's see. I got to work on this too. I got to think more about this. Bill on the north side.
Good morning. Instead of paying these guys $1,000 a month, what would the price of one bullet between the eyes be?
Thanks for the call, Bill. It'd be less. How about the Swedish shank?
Oh.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep at it. Rick.
Where's the Amish texter?
Rick in Lindenhurst. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Dan, listen, as far as I know, they probably are paying the gangbangers in Chicago right now. When I had my business through the United Center, they had these guys, if they had an event at the United Center, they had, I believe they call them community organizers. These guys were actually on the Chicago payroll, keeping the peace. I had my business by the Henry Horner Homes, and these guys would walk around and make sure that there was no trouble during the evenings of events over at the United Center.
Yeah, but that's...
And I believe Amy's gang name should be Willis.
Should be what?
Willis.
What?
Licorice? What?
Willis.
I'm not. I spell it. Thanks for the call, Rick.
Did he say licorice or witless or?
I don't know. I couldn't.
No,
I couldn't
he
make
left
it out.
me hanging.
Yeah, the whole this is like the Jeff Fort argument, right? But we weren't paying Jeff Fort formally. In fact, he was owning politicians. But Jeff Fort, the GDs, right, back in the day, the idea that you had the gang kingpin or the drug kingpin that kept order. And one of the arguments about the spike in Chicago violence is that you don't have the same discipline, the same hierarchy in the street gang world between the people and the folk that keep the peace the way that kingpins of a bygone era did. The idea of getting in bed with the devil.
I mean, how do you sign the check to, gangbanger? Do you when you write the check to them, do you use their street name?
They're going to want cash, I believe. I don't think they're going to take a third-party out-of-state check or a check from the city of Sacramento. By the way, is KJ still the mayor there? Kevin Johnson, former Phoenix Sun, husband of Michelle Rhee? He was the mayor there. I think he may still be the mayor there. What the hell is he thinking? John in Lake Station, Indiana.
Yeah, this is a great topic. Actually, what I was thinking, I wanted to just do it direct deposit, give them a debit card, and I wonder who's going to cover the overdrafts.
Okay.
The mayor of Sacramento is Daryl Steinberg.
Oh, so KJ's gone.
He took over in 2016.
No, I should really keep closer track of
Yes,
KJ's
please.
political career. Tim in Woodstock.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning.
It's funny that this is in the name of preventing crime. Well, the crime is the payoff. This is like a holdup. I mean, the gangbangers got to be laughing all the way to the bank. It's like a legalized holdup, and it's just another example in my mind of the left throwing money at something to kind of assuage their white guilt, and then they can go off to their cocktail parties and feel good about themselves. And what's the next thing? Are we going to start paying young girls not to get pregnant? I mean, this is just turning into silliness.
Thanks for the call, Tim. My gang name?
Yeah.
Fat Tony. Just because it's a fun name.
Awful.
That's
awful. How about Dirty Dan?
No.
No, that
sounds like a Michael Jackson song. Rick in DeKalb.
Hey.
Well, you've heard of political correctness is PC. This is political lunacy, which is PL. This is why the left. I mean, they're gonna ruin the Democratic Party. And by the way, Dan, denigrating SEIU, I can't agree with you on that. So.
You can't agree with me on denigrating SEIU?
No, I can't.
Oh.
They're not as bad as you paint them. So.
Well, I don't know, Rick. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that. I mean, if the public sector unions in the state are just intractable, I mean, that frankly, you want to talk about gangs that run this state, it's the public sector unions. We all live to finance the blank checks they demand, and the politicians provide them, generally speaking. So it's not a rank and file issue with SEIU members who are employees in state government or wherever. It's a leadership issue with the teachers unions, with SEIU, with AFSCME. They are part and parcel, co-conspirators with the politicians destroying the state's economy and making it the worst governed state in the history of the country. Rick, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be antagonistic, but let the record reflect. Jim in Huntley.
Yeah, the federal government has been doing this for decades. They've been paying people to be informants and cooperating witnesses while they were out doing crimes. This is i.e. Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want to scale that? Right.
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, I don't. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that
this is formalizing this is formalizing what they do.
The federal government has set the precedence for this.
All right.
Well, and just so you know, they did a similar program in nearby Richmond, California. 5-year period, city has seen a 50% decrease in firearm assaults and a 54% drop in gun homicides.
Yeah, I'd like to look into that case study a little bit more deeply to see if we can correlate one to the other. But, okay, we'll take a look at that.
It could happen here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Before you know it.
Yeah, it could happen. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Well, first off, the SEIU union is an extortion front group run by donut connoisseurs who pretend to be gangsters, and I love running into them. I absolutely love it. But one thing, as you mentioned these different programs, the politicians voted unanimously to pay off these gangbangers. The funds that get started for abortions, for the infant hit groups. This is all an example of involuntary servitude. You're taking the rest of the people, and you're making them servants to criminals, to people who go against their morality. Prof, it's got to take a group of smart lawyers to get together and to sue these politicians directly. You're corrupting the vote, and you're casting your fellow citizens as servants to another group of them. That is directly against the 14th Amendment. Am I wrong?
Thanks for the call, Sean. I was just thinking about, I lost track of what Sean was saying.
I know,
I was thinking about your gang street name.
Yeah, my street name. Come on, give me a good one. Notorious AMY is good.
That's pretty good. It's a little derivative.
Little copycat.
How about Amy Knuckles?
Oh.
Or just Knuckles?
How about for you, conservative cat?
Well, that doesn't sound very scary. It sounds like I'm like domesticated.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, like, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm logging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, like, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
I got a tweet from a Bud Morano, gang name for me. Trace Cadenas Proft. Is Cadenas chain? Is that what that is? Is that English? Trace Cadenas.
Cadenas.
Cadenas. I've been watching Narcos, so my Spanish is improving. But I think that's 3 chains Proft. I actually like that. If that means chains. If it means like pastry or something, then I don't like that. I do like Upstream-Ideas. It's our digital platform where we provide premium content that complements what we do on this show. It's all original content. Long-form interviews are against the current series. This week, Maze Jackson and Charles Thomas, the WVON morning team. We talk racial politics. My 60 Seconds of Sanity, podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which focuses on professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the important issues of the day and their impacts on household budgets. And our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segment, which this week asked people to follow the logic on the sanctuary state legislation Governor Rauner signed into law last week. You can get it all by visiting and signing up at upstream-ideas.com. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing, independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Cherukuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you, a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on a path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.com for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving network. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Stand in motion now. When I used to walk down the halls of Farragut High School, they would play this song.
You could do.
Yeah.
My
I was a teacher there.
I wish Coolio wasn't taken, because then I
Coolio.
could do mine. Yeah, it's too bad it's taken.
Are you getting anything? Where's the Amish texter?
I haven't seen him weigh in yet. Amy's gang name Double Arches.
Double Arches? I don't know what that means.
Mother of Vatos. Yeah. Uncoolio. I could be Uncoolio.
Oh, yeah, you could be Uncoolio.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Uncoolio.
$1,000 a month, tax-free. Spectacular.
All right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk North Korea with Bill Gertz from the Washington Free Beacon at 8:38.
And later, a new tradition starting at the University of Iowa. It will make you cry. But first, into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
55 and partly sunny skies. President Donald Trump suggesting that Congress will need to take up immigration legislation. His administration plans to announce later this morning it will end in 6 months. The program, the executive action known as DACA, that shields from deportation young immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children. While Congress would have time to intervene, Republicans have struggled in the past to find any consensus on immigration. American Airlines moments ago adds extra flights out of Caribbean islands to get folks out of the path of Hurricane Irma, now a powerful Category 5 storm with 175-mile-an-hour winds. Flights were added in St. Martin, St. Kitts, and Nevis, and there will be others. South Korean warships have just conducted live fire exercises at sea. It is the second straight day of military drills by a nation rattled by North Korea's biggest ever nuclear test, a hydrogen bomb. Another local holiday weekend, another wave of shootings in Chicago. 5 died, 42 shot over the Labor Day weekend. 4 wounded in Bellwood after 3 men and a woman were shot last night outside a home near Bellwood Avenue and Jackson. Bond set at $2 million for a Chicago man accused of placing a 2-year-old boy in burning hot bathwater. Jarvon Crosley appeared in court yesterday on charges of aggravated battery to a child. The boy suffered severe burns and has already undergone 2 skin graft surgeries. And the story, New York tabloid newspaper, the Daily News, once had a circulation of over 2 million, has been acquired by Tronc, the Chicago-based publisher of the LA Times and the Chicago Tribune. The deal announced Monday night. The Daily News published its story on its website. The 98-year-old newspaper won a Pulitzer Prize this year for public service journalism, but only has about 200,000 subscribers now. Pirates over the Cubs, 12-0, while the Indians trimmed the White Sox 5-3, their 12th straight victory. The news service of Staples. With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need, delivered next day, free. On eligible items only, and orders over $49.99 placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples, it's pro time. 8:33, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's not time to play politics.
I run away from the politicizing of natural disasters. I hate political gamesmanship that people engage in. This is not a time for that. Right now, the people of Texas need our help. need our prayers, and we don't need to point any fingers of blame.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
8:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the eastbound Eden Spur, delays start at Waukegan Road. Then it's 22 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 34. The Kennedys, an hour from O'Hare to downtown. Delays starting at Nagel. 38 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound 46 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 50 minutes from Manhunt. Outbound 55 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 21 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44 minutes. The Ryan is 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, it's bottled up Lawrence to North Avenue. Tri-State southbound, heavy Atkinson to Brad. Northbound from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway slow lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway from 31 to Eola and in Naperville to Highland. Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Southbound 53, stop and go Rand to Kershaw. Northwest Indiana spot. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny this morning, breezy and cooler with a stray shower this afternoon. We'll top out at 69, cool with patchy clouds overnight. And we do mean cool, a low near 50 and a high only of 65 tomorrow. Currently 56 at O'Hare, 58 along the lakefront. 53 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 9. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Freedom Summit Chicago 2017 is coming to the Westin, Chicago Northwest, and Itasca on November 11th. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Peyton's first day at Blaine when he was in kindergarten, and today's his first day of his last year at Blaine.
Finally,
Where
get out
did
of that
time go?
That school propagates the name of a Catholic bigot. It's about time.
Okay.
Mike Scott in the newsroom has my street gang name.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Easy D. That's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah. It's better than on Coolio.
Yeah.
Keith's just mad at me because I made fun of DragonCon.
Yeah. You made fun of and the nice lady that he met. Anybody wants to see the picture of the DragonCon participant?
Alleged lady.
Well, Keith bought her a beer and he got her phone number, but we don't know if the phone number is legit, and we don't know if she took her mask off.
Never took the mask off. Was wearing a skirt at DragonCon. That is not dispositive of the gender issue. All right.
Take a look. It's on Twitter. Yes.
Switching from silliness to sublime as it pertains to national security, geopolitical balance of power. Of course, talking about North Korea banging the war drum as loud as they have in 25 years, prompting this response from Secretary of Defense Mattis over the weekend.
We have many military options, and the President wanted to be briefed on each one of them. We made clear that we have the ability to defend ourselves and our allies, South Korea and Japan. from any attack, and our commitments among the allies are ironclad. Any threat to the United States or its territories, including Guam, or our allies, will be met with a massive military response, a response both effective and overwhelming.
Now, Gordon Chang, who's an expert in this area, he's the author of, among other books, The Coming Collapse of China. He suggested there's some things that we need to know that we don't completely know yet. An interview on Fox over the weekend.
One of the things that we need to be asking, and not only with nukes but also with missiles, they have to be getting help. The least likely explanation is that they're doing this on their own. We need to know who has been giving them the technical assistance, plus also the materials, as well as the diplomatic, economic, and money laundering support that's necessary to be able to do 120 kilotons.
Oh, yeah. And so he has a recommendation, does Gordon Chang, short of military response.
Well, because every time no, I think the next step is a non-kinetic one. We need to go to the Security Council and ask for a complete embargo. And if the Chinese and the Russians delay, what we need to do is put severe costs on Moscow and Beijing. And we can certainly do that because the largest Chinese banks, like Bank of China, which was named in a 2016 UN report, they've been money laundering for the North Koreans. And President Trump, by designating them a primary money laundering concern, can effectively put a death sentence on the largest Chinese institutions. That would throw the Chinese financial system into turmoil, rock the economy, and maybe even bring down the Communist Party. So we have the tools to do this. We just don't have the political will, Pete.
I'm not sure that that domino effect would work out quite like Mr. Chang is suggesting, but in terms of going after the money and imposing a cost on China, that seems sensible to me. Let's see if it seems sensible to our next guest, also an expert in the field. He is Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon, and he's the author of the new book, I War, War and Peace in the Information Age. Bill, thanks for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. So you heard a range of suggestions from Mattis suggesting what would happen if any of our territory or our allies were threatened any more severely or attacked, of course. You had John Bolton, former ambassador to the U.S. ambassador to the UN, suggesting regime change. South Korea needs to take over North Korea, and that's the only option left. And then you heard what an academic like Gordon Chang had to say. What's your thought on the matter?
Well, yeah, first of all, I think, the current U.S. policy was stated earlier this year by the State Department, which is that they won't change the regime, that we're not seeking regime change. And ultimately, that's what needs to be done. And I think the United Nations has made the case through its human rights report a number of years ago, which showed that this regime has committed crimes against humanity, against its own people. That said, the options are ratcheting up pressure on China, which is a good thing. They did that a couple of weeks ago where they imposed some sanctions on a couple of Chinese and Russian companies, but it's not enough. They didn't go after the company that made the mobile transporter erector missile launchers that are now being used by the North Koreans' intercontinental range missiles. That's the kind of pressure that they need to put on the North Koreans.
Well, how powerful was this hydrogen bomb that was apparently on top of a ballistic missile?
Well, it was an underground test, and the assessments are still early, but it was definitely a very large explosion, much larger than the fifth test that was taken last year. They still don't know whether it is a hydrogen bomb or a electromagnetic pulse bomb or a boosted fission bomb, and the only way they'll find that out is if they send these sniffer planes nearby in the region and trying to collect some particles from the venting. A large blast like that, you can't contain it and keep it underground. Some of the debris will vent, and then we'll be able to do that. That's probably going to take a week, but the latest assessment is, yes, it was a very large bomb, and that's based on the seismic readings. The South Koreans say it was like a 6.1 seismic reading. The U.S. says 6.3. It's a very big difference there. And once they determine what it is, but it was, like I say, 100 kilotons or 120 kilotons at least.
Well, the General Mattis, Secretary of Defense Mattis, in addition to the statement that we played, said Trump wanted a small coterie of his senior military advisors to brief him on military options. Are we forestalling and foreclosing other options that should be pursued, toot sweet, short of military options, while kind of wargaming military options?
Yeah, I think that's basically posturing. The other thing that Mattis said in his statement the other day was that North Korea should heed UN resolutions, basically take heed of unanimous UN vote. Well, that's basically all that's been done. We've got more than a decade's worth of UN resolutions, and they haven't worked. The North Koreans ignore them and continue on the path. The real solution is pressuring the Chinese, who are facilitating this by delaying. Every time there's a blast, the Chinese condemned it, but they said everything must be done through diplomacy and dialogue. Well, the Chinese could turn off the oil flow to North Korea, which would have a crippling impact. An embargo is another possibility. Curbing North Korea's foreign labor, that's where they get their hard currency. They send thousands of workers around the world to send money back. Most of them work in slave conditions, by the way. So those are some of the options that are being considered.
But with respect to pressuring China, I just want to explore that phrase because it's bandied about all the time. But in what kind of pressure? There's the rhetorical pressure, please help, and then there's we're going to impose a cost on you. We're not going to let you use this as a misdirection play so that we don't address the South China Sea, so that we don't address intellectual piracy, so that we don't address other issues that we have with you.
Yeah, everybody's always seemed to be looking for some deal with the Chinese. Well, if you do this, if you do this to the North Koreans, we'll consider that. I would say that we, first of all, if with this growing threat of nuclear missiles from North Korea and the fact that China has a defense alliance with North Korea, just make it clear to the Chinese that any attack by North Korea would be considered an attack by China. And then you'd see that alliance go away very quickly. That would be one option. The other thing would be to start bolstering defenses on Taiwan. Again, this is something that the Chinese would object to. But again, imagine that if China had a nuclear-armed Taiwan firing test missiles over its islands in the South China Sea and other places, they'd certainly change the policies right away. Those are the kinds of things that need to be done.
And what about Japan's role in all of this?
Well, the Japanese are totally reliant militarily on the U.S., and they've made clear that they're not going to try and develop their own nuclear force, although they have the infrastructure to do so if they wanted to. South Korea as well, they have asked for changes to the missile technology control regime that would allow them to develop missiles with greater payloads, which could signal that perhaps they want to develop their own nuclear deterrent. Both countries' parliaments, there have been voices saying that, hey, it's time to face facts that the North Koreans are not going to give up their nukes, and in order to deter them, that they need their own nuclear force.
So the Wall Street Journal over the weekend went through all of the component parts of DIMEFIL, the statecraft acronym: diplomatic, information, military, economic, finance, intelligence, and law enforcement. Any of those categories, are we not doing as much as we could be doing right now, in addition to what you said of economic, the embargo?
Well, clearly on the intelligence front, we should be waging information warfare and intelligence warfare against North Korea. We should be using the North Korean defectors in the South to set up a regime in exile. And again, those are the kinds of really serious pressure devices that need to be taken. And if you're just going to rely on the UN, it's just going to be more talk and more delays while the North develops its missile and nuclear forces. He is Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon. The book, I War and Peace in the Information Age. Pick it up, check it out. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I have some more street names for us. One, my name could be Queen Lutefisk. That's a Swedish fish that you bury in your backyard for a year. It smells wonderful. And the other one, you two should team up and call yourselves Blondie and Snide. Oh!
That's lame.
Yeah, it's lame. You got anything over there?
Yeah, Amby Davis's bowling ball has a couple. For me, the Commodore. I like that. Laissez-faire. That's a little esoteric for a street gang name, but okay. And the Trilemma. Okay?
Okay.
I got another one for you from 773.
Yeah?
Jigsaw Jacobson, which is, of course, a Saw reference.
Yes,
Very
that's
nice.
good. I like it. You're going to like the forecast today if you like sunshine. There'll be plenty of it. Will be breezy, though. We do have a chance of a stray shower this afternoon. No big deal. A high of 69 degrees. And then tomorrow, even cooler, a high of 65. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. What would your street name be, Jim Telemonte, or your gang name?
I don't know. I think we'll ask Amby Davis's bowling ball. That's
Okay.
more credible than I am. Maybe something with a jam or alarm detection systems if we could work them in for our sponsors' sake, please. Yeah. Northbound Veterans Memorial got a big jam. Speaking of those, from before I-55 up to the Boughton Toll Plaza where there's a crash, 3 left lanes are blocked, and it's very heavy farther north, 75th to the Reagan Tollway, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Eden's improving. 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 34. But the Kennedy, it's an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 45 minutes. The Ike, an hour 19. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 46 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 21. 355 to the drive, outbound 44 minutes. And the Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Somebody said your street name should be Toot Sweet.
Yeah, since I use that. That'd be more like a musical, like a Jets and a Sharks, if it's the kind of street gang that I'd be a member of.
Hey, the school year is underway, and maybe already you're feeling a little uneasy about your child's school or teacher. Public schools are changing rapidly, and if you aren't happy with what your son or daughter is learning in the classroom or on the playground, then maybe it's time to consider a private school. And private schools have never been more affordable thanks to halfpriceschools.com. It's easy. Halfpriceschools.com has partnered with dozens of private schools in Chicago area to offer tuition vouchers half the regular price. So just go to halfpriceschools.com, find a private school in your community, and purchase a voucher. Then prepare to send your child off to a private school at half the normal price. There's no catch. Vouchers are still available for Chicago Hope Academy in Chicago, Christian Hills School in Orland Hills, Midwestern Christian Academy in Chicago. That's just to name a few. There's a long list on there. So don't wait another day. School has started. And don't settle for a public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Homeowners, if the tire on your car goes flat, you fix it. If your heater breaks down, you fix it. Right now, if your home has low water pressure, or you get scalded in the shower when someone flushes, or you or your neighbors have already had leaks, in other words, your pipes aren't working, you can get them fixed too, in as little as 1 day. I'm Jeff Butler, owner of Repipe Specialists. For a limited time on approved credit, when you repipe with us, we'll give you 0% interest for an entire year. That's right, a repipe, wall patching, and a lifetime guarantee, all at 0% interest. Get great pressure, clean, clear water, be able to take a shower, and run the washing machine at the same time. We've helped over 30,000 homeowners just like you get new, high-quality pipes without a fuss. So repipe with us, and you too can enjoy great water pressure in your home with a lifetime guarantee.
Just call 800-216-0130. That's 800-216-0130. 800-216-0130.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do.
Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
Hi, I'm Jim McCann, chairman of 1-800-Flowers.com and co-founder of Smile Farms. With nearly 80% of adults with developmental disabilities being unemployed in the United States, we decided to try and do something about it. Smile Farms makes a positive impact on the lives of those with special needs by creating meaningful work experiences at local farms and greenhouses.
To find out how you can make a donation and change a life, visit smilefarms.org. That's smilefarms.org.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
AM 560, The Answer.
Couple more nicknames real quick. For me, Occam's Razor.
Nice,
I like that.
nice.
And Amby Davis's bowling ball came through for Jim Telemonte. Traffic Jamoni.
Oh,
Jamoni.
Jam on it.
Yeah, pretty
That's
good.
good. All right, so we're playing the Iowa fight song because this is the best story ever, and it comes out of the best university ever, University of Iowa. Thank you. Go Hawks. We beat Wyoming over the weekend. So over the last
Big
year,
win.
well, no, we've seen over the last year the American sport of football just be terribly politicized. So at Iowa, they decided to do something about it. Saturday, during their season opener, fans stood at the end of the first quarter and waved to the children who are watching the game from the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. Now, they redid the Children's Hospital about a decade ago, and they built it up higher and built it so that parents and kids that are sick and recovering from various, cancers and operations could watch the Iowa game.
Is that the Chuck Long
No,
Children's
this
Center?
is
it the Hayden Fry Children's Center?
Oh, I'm going to take you there.
It's time to start a new tradition here at Kinnick.
take a look at the UI, Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital, and let's give a big Hawkeye wave to all the kids watching the game.
Don't you feel like you were there and all the kids waved back? And
Don't
it's just
go
a great escape.
here.
No, they didn't say
Is that the message?
No,
Oh.
it's at Iowa. We don't have a professional football team there, so the Iowa Hawkeyes are everything to those kids and to their parents. And it's a great escape.
What's the namesake of the hospital? Who's the namesake?
Stead Family Children's Hospital. Not Chuck Long. Sorry.
It's a real kick in the teeth.
We used
B.J. Armstrong?
No,
No.
it's okay.
Roy Marble?
They
Children's
contribute
Hospital?
in other ways. Okay. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, and Keith Conrad, who just got back from DragonCon. He's our executive producer. And thanks for making us part of your morning. We'll see you back here at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Now let's go into the newsroom. Mike Diddley-Doo Scott joins us with the news. That's your street name.
Our friend Chuck Long, by the way, former Lions quarterback, does a major fund.